Anthony, we haven't talked about politics really. Who you for? How you feeling? Do you hate them both? You excited about Trump?
Yeah, I really do want to send a message through Donald Trump that this, we're really tired of the government. Really, they're taking the American people for granted. They have for a long time. They're all rich. How does that happen in the public service as they're supposed to be doing? It's just this business as usual thing that's been going on. And Trump, regardless of anything, his past, his business, what he says, what he thinks of women, what he thinks of minorities, where the Mexicans, the wall, all that aside, just put someone in there that isn't one of the usual to show the usual that we're this mad at you. And I honestly don't think anybody put in the office of president of the United States can do all that much damage by themselves. There's enough checks.
That's what we're counting on. Vote Trump. How bad can he be?
That how much damage could he do? I just can't see another 4, maybe 8 years of the same stuff, Democratic, liberal politics that just take the working American and make him seem like the bad guy, and everything rests on their back. It's just enough already. They're that mad now where they're ready to elect a lunatic as president because they're the ones that work hard, raise a family, be responsible, and they're the ones looked at every corner as the bad guy. The one who makes this country bad is the working family. We're tired of it, and people have to do something about it. And if that's electing a lunatic like Donald Trump, so be it.
Michael Moore is pro Donald Trump. Have you guys heard his
He was saying something about that. He liked the idea that if companies were going to take their factories and move them overseas and tell a bunch of Americans that their jobs are gone, that they're going to be taxed up the ass with tariffs before they're able to ship merchandise back into the U.S. And of course, Michael Moore.
That's like his primary issue, right? If he's a single issue voter, it's that, it's about blue collar jobs.
Yeah, blue collar jobs. So, he's still a big dumb asshole himself.
So, to answer the water balloon discussion, it appears that the terminal velocity of a water balloon is about 93 meters per second. That's a half-liter water balloon that's spherical, and that has an energy of 2,162 joules, which is about the same as a fucking AR-15. So, yeah, let's not mess around with water balloons dropped from high enough to reach terminal velocity.
Yeah. Oh, kids, I swear I thought it was going to be funny.
I'm so sorry, but eye patches are pretty cool.
Yeah. Trump might really win this.
I know. That's the funny thing. That's another thing. I don't know if this is going to be a squeaker or a landslide either way. That's how fucked up this whole election's been. Mm-hmm. The polls, I don't even think, can read what's going on in this election. There's so many weird things going on that I don't think. I was saying once, it was like trying to use a Geiger counter as a fish finder. It's I don't think the polls work with what's going on. I don't think people that are going to vote or have voted in the past, or independents or undecideds, have any bearing on the polls that are being taken these days. And again, it's so weird that it can be a squeaker either way or a landslide either way. I can't predict it.
I believe in the polls. I think they're true. I think they're on target. So I have a little different opinion than you. But the thing is, I recognize them as being a week old, right? So we've seen Trump's chance of winning. This is the 538 chance of winning. Go from 10% to 30 in about a week, right? So we've seen him gain 20%. If that happens in the next week, then he wins this.
Yeah.
If he goes from 30 to 50, if that happens again, then there we are. Or it could be at 50-50 right now. It's just that polls are a week old. That's the nature of them. Yeah. So
crazy.
He could be winning. The idea that Trump could be winning in the next president of the United States is something that I didn't really think could happen this whole time through. right? This whole time through.
Really,
Hillary's chance of winning was always like 75%, 80%, 90%. Oh, she's struggling again, 75% chance of winning. Now we're watching her at 65%, or at 67%. And it's a week old, and the momentum is so strong. You're like, she could be at 50.
It's like that
now.
Ron Paul gif. It's happening.
Yeah. He might be winning. I don't want him to win. I think bad things happen if Trump wins. I hope I'm wrong.
That's what people are saying about Hillary, though. It works both ways. Half of the voters, not even half the country, a lot of the country doesn't vote, but half the voters at this point are feeling exactly like you just said you felt, but the other way. I was saying half the voters are going to wake up on Wednesday morning really pissed, and that doesn't matter who wins.
Yes.
Just going to be mad.
Yeah, I guess I just think of Clinton, as a politician like Obama, like W, like her husband was, like, how do you go back to Bush Sr., Reagan, Carter, etc. In the same mold as all the other ones. With Trump, I don't know what happens when he wins.
Parents are very nervous about that whole thing. I don't give a shit. I have a cat.
And he's not concerned about it.
And Trump loves pussy. We know that.
Yes.
That would be just fine.
Grab him.
Yeah, grab him all you want.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
Live election coverage edition from the finest that CNN will show me for the next hour. Which these little like samples so far are, I know it's like this every election, but it's so funny to watch like them zoom in on certain counties where they're like, yes, Clark County in Florida looks like Trump is up 97 to 3%, and it shows the total votes, and it's like 60 to 13. And it's like, this doesn't matter. Nobody's showed up yet.
And your math is awful.
Yeah, it is awful. But I meant to show it just a big win. But,
I'm trying to remain classy because I feel like tonight is the night in which we get our trophy. You know, if you're on the blue side in this thing, don't be a dick, because someday you're gonna lose.
The people who actually have sides and think that there was an outcome tonight that would potentially mean that I won are just morons anyway. No one wins tonight. Like, there's all of you are out there, like, tomorrow, if you're excited, you're an idiot. You didn't win anything, and that doesn't matter who won. If Trump won and you're celebrating, you're an idiot. If Hillary won and you're celebrating, you're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I just said that right before we started the show, that if Trump wins this by some fucking miracle, which he's not, he's going to get blown out, I think, near Obama levels in 2008 versus McCain. But even if he wins, it's going to be such a teeny little window of happiness in that Hillary Clinton lost. And that you can kind of take a little bit of pride, like, yeah, the people saw through her bullshit. They saw that she was a career corrupt person, and now she's not the president. And then that realization of, oh my God, Donald Trump, the guy from The Apprentice, the guy from the NBC show, the long-running NBC show, that is now the president of the United States. That's not nobody. I really don't think anybody's going to feel like they won after this.
I'm on Yahoo, just watching it, and when we started the show, it had Florida in blue, like Hillary won it. And I'm like, what? Like, really? Like, because that would end it, right? That right there, hey, she wins Florida and the night is done. And then I looked into it more closely and saw that barely anything reported. North Carolina, 0.07% reporting. Well, what the fuck? A bigger percentage than that early voted. So I guess...
Do they include that in that percentage, though? Like, kind of an aggregate, kind of, because it's already... Like, is that a percentage of the people who showed up today so far, like the remaining vote?
I think so, but I don't know.
Make sense of it? Yeah, I think they take the early votes, lump them together with all the other votes from this county, and report it that way. But I don't know. I'm just whatever. I suspect we won't know tonight. That there'll be.
I think we might because you know, he has such a precarious road that. All it takes is one state here or there, and they're like, oh, well, you know, it's not official, but Trump kind of has to win New York now, so yeah, it's official.
Yeah, that's what I see happening. I don't even know if he's going to win Florida at this point. Like,
it's tight. Florida's tight. It looks like he might win Ohio. North Carolina's super fucking tight. I see he's suing Arizona for keeping their polls open for 2 extra hours.
I hate that about the Republicans, and
fair is fair. Rules
Trump,
is rules.
But I hate it about dude, Republicans are about voter suppression. That's their thing.
Dude, dude, having to be alive, having to be a citizen.
There were literally 31 instances
having to have an ID.
of voter fraud. 31 people in the last presidential election were bad votes. That is nothing. That's
like only counting murders that you. That's like only counting murders that you solved.
In a country of 300 million, there's only 30.
No, that's not true.
That can't be true. It's more than 1 in 100,000 people that's doing it. It's gotta be. How people are.
And the way to do it is on such a small scale. It's hard to do it twice, right? You go in there, you hope the poll people don't. I couldn't have voted twice today. I guess I'd have to go to a different precinct.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to vote in the same. You wouldn't vote in the same precinct or district.
What if there was a big bus that would just pick you up at home and just take you from precinct to precinct?
What is true is they do legit have super long lines in densely packed urban areas. We tried to early vote twice.
Yeah.
And it took hours. We were just like, fuck this. Oh my God. This is like waiting in line for tickets at Duke UNC. And today was actually super easy. But early voting is fucking suppressed. No one who sets this up and says, this is for people who like to wait in line for 2.5 to 3 hours while voting. The early voting is fucked. The fact that voting is on a Tuesday, right? You know how they always fuss about America and their voting participation rates?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you look at the top 31 countries that vote better than us. Some are mandatory, but a lot of them are on weekends, and there's multiple days to vote. Here in the U.S., by and large, you have 1 weekday to vote. And by the way, that weekday is a work day, which disproportionately favors wealthier voters, right? People who are on salary can just duck out of the office and vote or what have you. People who are hourly working at McDonald's and stuff can't just leave to go escape for an hour or two.
But that's but you don't like early.
I love every aspect of making voting better. Early voting should be good, and it shouldn't be a joke that early voting is where I am. I don't know what it's like nationwide, but where I am, early voting is a nightmare. It shouldn't be on a Tuesday. It should be on a weekend so that more people can participate in this voting, or a national holiday, which is what some other countries do. It should be... what were my other things? A weekend or better early voting, across more days, that's early voting too. There are a handful of things they can do to make voting easier, and they intentionally just stop that from happening. Voter suppression impacts millions of people, and typically one group of people.
Then that's a bad thing. I'm not going to defend something I know nothing about. I'm saying though that if you're going to make a case that it's a Republican thing, that voter suppression is a Republican thing, then voter fraud is a Democrat thing.
Yeah, it's funny how that came out.
Right, you never find a Republican there's never a case of buses people around on the other side. I'm just saying, if you can make that one blanket statement, it seems the other way is true as well.
We all have cars.
It's just that on one is definitely you can see the impact that has there, and the other there's never any evidence that it actually happens. Or if there is, like I said, there's 31 people during the last presidential election who were dead and voted or what have you. Voter fraud is not a real problem.
I still don't trust that number
because
look it up. because the way they count the votes, it seems like they count them to a point and they're like, oh yeah, that guy won, we can stop now. It doesn't seem like they really follow up and do due diligence and count the extra votes and really pay attention to if there is any or isn't any afterwards. I never hear about that.
I know. I feel
there's just too many of us. I don't know anything about actual voter fraud.
A couple hours ago.
What I'm thinking
area
is,
in California.
If there are 300 million Americans and we know what we are like and we know how passionate people are about this sort of thing and how win at all costs that people are about this thing, then it's just logical that people would cheat. It's just logical that they would, and it has to be more than 30. It has to be like 30,000. 30,000, I might believe, but even then, that seems far too low in a country of 300 million. I just think that we're genuinely, a dishonest bunch, and that there's a lot of people out there when you got a population this big that would just do it.
It's almost like Googling gun stuff.
It's
There's
like,
a bunch
yeah.
of
Yeah, you're
bullshit
not gonna find
sources,
any.
like Breitbart says it's a problem. Conservative Outfitters, is that what that says? Yeah, conservativeoutfitters.com seems to think it's a
They have good gear there.
And then you have
You
like NBC who says there's no widespread no
Well,
evidence
yeah,
of it. You have
that's the other side.
ABC. Well, I guess I feel this is what Republicans do too. They're like, oh yeah. You know, all these mainstream sources, NBC, ABC, whatever. They're in the bank for these Democrats, and then as if they're parallel to Breitbart, right? Who just like
I think that they are on parallel with Breitbart in a lot of ways. I think that Breitbart, because it's online, they have to go even crazy. Like, I will give it to you for sure that Breitbart is I don't know anything about the conservative, whatever the fuck, but Breitbart is not reliable. They are in the tank for Trump. They were lying for Trump the entire election, but MSNBC was lying for Hillary the entire election. You know, the only difference I see is that one gets a huge amount of traction because it's MSNBC, and the other one is very quickly written off as, rightfully so, written off as that's conservative propaganda. This isn't true. All the polls aren't rigged. This isn't some grand conspiracy if there's a grand conspiracy, it's to get Clinton in, not to subvert Trump. Trump is doing a great job of subverting himself every step of the way.
I don't know how much MSNBC you watched, but I would get subjected to it daily because it would make my wife upset. They were in the tank for Trump, it seemed. You know, they when Comey reopened the case, the guy just like, Morning Joe, right? He's like, trust me, I used to be a prosecutor. They know exactly what's in those emails. They were looking at him saying, shit, we better get a warrant for this. And then they're in the process of getting the warrant. Hillary is guilty. You know, there's some bad stuff in there. They know it, and we'll know it soon. That's what they're saying. MSNBC sounded like Fox. You know,
well, it depends what program on each thing. Yeah, the Morning Joe guys, and then you go like if you compare it to like the guys on what is it, the Red Eye on Fox, like that would be an equal comparison because it's just like a opinion program, right? No, they're fucking not reliable sources because they're more about entertainment than news, even though they're on a news network. You know, there's a big difference between like even on Fox. Let's just keep it within Fox News between Megyn Kelly's show, where it seems to be legit news. She isn't bullshitting you at all. It's pretty much 100% fact, maybe 99% fact or 97. But then you go to like the Red Eye thing or the Five, and it's more comedy and more about entertainment, and they're literally cracking jokes. You know, I guess
if I could put it like this, it seems like when the news sources like ABC, NBC, even CNN, all of them have let me down at one point or another. And if there's a scale of 1 to 100 where 50 is perfection, they're like a 45 or something like that. And then Fox News comes out there and they're like a 92 on the other side of 50. And they say, see, neither of them are 50. See how that is? Like, I don't see... I don't
think that's fair at all.
They literally called Obama a terrorist on Fox News.
Who did?
Okay, who did?
Okay, so Obama and Michelle, when he was running for his first term, fist bumped. And they said, do you call it a pound? Do you call it...
Was that Greta?
Something else? No. Do you call it a terrorist fist bump? Body language experts are weighing in. And they actually, on that one, they literally did come back and apologize for the terrorist fist bump comments.
Well, that was one anchor, though, right? I know I've seen that exact clip. It's just the one woman, she says those things. But that's not like
so you
Fox
think it was just
News.
One rogue anchor not reading off a teleprompter, calling him a terrorist?
Well, that's her own show. That was Greta Van Susteren, right?
If it is
she makes her own show. She produces.
I was thinking of Nancy Grace when you asked if it was Greta.
Oh,
Nancy
God,
Grace
not
isn't
Nancy.
on
no.
Fox. Nancy Grace is on
and
HLN.
She's gone from there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the person.
If it was Nancy Grace, it wasn't Fox. But
it wasn't. It was Fox.
It's okay. Then I believe you. I'm just saying that making, first of all, the false equivalence that months upon months of ripping Trump, bashing him, rightfully so in many, many cases, and completely ignoring Clinton corruption in all the essential times where people are formulating decisions about who they're going to vote for, ignoring it. And then 2 days, they go, oh, man, because their hand was forced and they had to cover it because that was the only news thing for that weekend. It came out on a Friday. That's in no way is reminiscent of a 45 on that 1 to 100 scale. I see them and Fox as pretty much equals in their bias, and I see Breitbart as the 92 out of 100, and I see Vox or Think Progress as like the 2 or whatever the equivalent would be on the other side, 8, whatever it would be. No, I would say there are two because they're bananas.
Okay.
But Think Progress is out of control. Go to thinkprogress.com every once in a while. It's like
it would be my first time there.
It's like the Breitbart of the left, essentially. Just total propaganda, no care for facts. Push the agenda.
Can we talk about
they go down fast.
politics for a second?
What's up?
So as it sits, about 11.5% of North Carolina is reported. Hillary's up by 4% there, and in New Hampshire it's 8.5%, but she's up by 12%. I don't know how significant that is because 8%, is it a good measure? What I thought was fun was in Jersey, 0.5% has reported. Trump is winning 60-30, and they're calling it for Hillary. Just like it's Jersey.
90 people have voted.
They've counted 90.
It doesn't. The numbers are bigger. It's 32,000 people have voted. And Trump is up, like I said, 60-37.
Okay.
And they're calling it for Hillary.
Oh,
because it's Jersey.
Because it's Jersey, yeah. And I was like,
it's going to go for Hillary. Like Trump doesn't have a shot tonight. It's going to be. I think in the next 90 minutes it'll be over, and that's it. Like I think he'll lose something that he has to win. I think he'll probably lose Ohio or something like that, and then
I think
it's like,
okay
all right,
in Ohio. It looked like he was okay in Ohio pre-game. That was interesting about this time around. That's why I think it's clear that a normal Republican could have fucking taken this thing, because normally it's about, can we win Ohio? And this time it's like, no, they fucking despise her there. Like, it doesn't even matter that Donald Trump is Donald Trump. He's got a real good shot in Ohio.
Well,
so like
the right stuff. So he's courting the auto industry, which is huge in Ohio. I know you know this, but some people might not. That Ohio apparently is next to Michigan with regards to who's making these cars. And Trump is over there saying, Ford, if you ship those jobs, we're going to put a tariff on it, and no one will buy your car because it'll be too expensive. And that's why Ohio loves Trump. And it's just filled with that kind of no college white voter. There's a lot of that in Ohio.
He should have went with a pro crystal meth thing, and he would have won Florida outright.
Bath salts.
Yeah, going to legalize crystal meth. All of a sudden, he's up 10 points in Florida.
He's winning.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize how much of Florida had reported. They're at 70%. So that's pretty significant. Ooh. And Trump's up by, I was going to say 2%, but it's 1. It's 49 to 47.9.
Well, that's pretty good. Depending on the counties,
91%.
right? Because I wonder, I don't recall, but I think we all know that there are particular counties
Miami
and areas in Florida
that
are very important and very liberal and or conservative, holdout points. So Florida is such an interesting thing. Our electoral system is just fucked, right? If the three of us were going to sit down and make a new one, would any of the core elements that are part of it now remain? I don't think so. I'd get rid of that stupid electoral college. I'd get rid of all of the way that the gerrymandering has ruined it. All that stuff. There's got to be a better way. It's so shitty how we choose our leaders.
Republicans would be fucked. Look, we'll know how the election turns out for PKA.
Lock her up.
Trump is winning.
I hope she
votes right now.
I hope she wins and then they take it away from her. That's the real prize.
Let's end on that note. PKN, episode 117.
It's been a big news past couple of days.
What happened?
There was an election. That thing that everybody.
Oh, was that this week?
That was this week. I looked at Trump's tweet, and he said to turn out for him on the 18th, and so I missed it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? I don't know if it was his tweet, but at one point, someone in the Trump campaign, maybe even him, probably fucking him, said go out and you need to turn out on November 14th and show America that you want me. And it's like, you're going to have a lot of angry.
The smart money's on Trump.
Yeah. You're going to have furious people at a lot of post offices and churches on the 14th.
Actually, you know what? I should take that back. I just thought about what I said. This stuff that we thought was dumb all along, right? Apparently, those are the acts of a champion. Like when he told everyone to check out that woman's sex tape, he might have been picking up votes for all I know. When he was going back and forth with Rosie or whatever the fuck he's doing, Hillary, you missed out on that shit. Scores posted, dude.
You mean when Hillary was doing the dab on the Oprah on the Ellen show, that wasn't winning her any votes?
It appears that way.
All that nonsense didn't help?
Regardless of what you thought was happening, what actually happened Carry on. Go ahead. Line it up.
Let's talk about election night and our individual experiences that came of it. So we finished up PKN, right? That's what happened. It was maybe 9-10 o'clock East Coast time. I went to my bedroom. CNN was already on TV, and I started watching. And he was leading in Virginia. And
as a note, though, previously, just as we had finished PKN, we were all in the same boat. I think of no way, no way.
Yeah.
And this was as the election was starting.
Yeah.
There's a recording of us all being like, "No fucking way, bullshit." Like,
Yes. Yeah.
We should have redacted that immediately. As soon as we saw it was going bad, we should have been like, let's re-record PKN and all go pro-Trump and just call it.
Say something crazy like, you know what? I bet he's going to win Michigan and Wisconsin. You know, I bet he can just say something. That wasn't even a conversation. Anyway, sorry.
So I get up there. I see he's winning. In Virginia. And I knew that was not on his map. And he didn't end up winning it. But the fact that he was ahead in it was like hey, what's going on here? Let's actually look deep and do a little math. And as they go around the place, I notice they're not talking about Florida and they're not talking about Ohio on CNN. It's like, what gives? That's what matters. And then I see they're red. They're not like called, but they're all red. Of course, you got Miami-Dade down there and Orlando and everything.
They were so talking about those states. They did nothing but talk about them all night long. Yeah, it was just here he is. They kept talking about no path, and there was a lot of attention on the Rust Belt states that Trump was winning that no one expected him to win.
I felt like the coverage I was watching on CNN, like at 9 or 10 o'clock, like they just weren't talking about Ohio much. They weren't like, oh yeah, here's her, because he was ahead. They were talking more about.
He was ahead by a lot in Ohio, I think, right?
Yeah, he was ahead by a lot in Ohio, and Florida just wasn't looking good. I called Florida very early in the night for Trump. It was like, I don't see how this is going to change very much, and it just kept going and going, and I kept looking at my girlfriend, and after a while, I went, he could do it. She's like, no, he can't. They said he can't. Everybody did. I was like, he can do it. He's just got to win that and hang on to these three here, and he's got it, I think, because we know what's coming on the West Coast, like California, and we know what that's going to do. That's more predictable.
Yeah, you already add 55 to Hillary's score.
Yeah, I'm already giving her 55. We know that, and it just kept going and going, and we were in the Skype, and I just became more and more shocked and more giddy. And after a while, like cautious, like nervousness of like, man, at first it was like, oh, it won't be a blowout. Trump is not going to get blown out. This will not be an embarrassment now. That is wonderful. And then it became, this might be a squeaker. And then it became, Trump prophesied what was going to happen. He's winning the Rust Belt. He's winning Pennsylvania. He's got the industrial 80s capital of America up there. He's going from the Great Lakes to the bottom tip of Texas right now, splitting the U.S. in half. He's going to win. I was like, I don't know very much about this electoral map stuff. I know generally how it works. I've been through a few elections. But I do know that normally it's all about Ohio and Florida, and he's already got them, and it's about what else he gets right now. And I was like, that's it. Trump's the president. Trump's the president. Trump's the president.
You guys were all saying that, like, in the middle of the night, especially Kyle. Kyle was a source of hope for me that evening, and Woody, like you. It was no. I was saying more that because Kyle was so excited about it, you and Chiz were more just kind of stating the facts of like, yeah, it is looking like this will happen the whole time up until they were discussing Michigan, and like and the CNN anchors were, viscerally blown away, like, he is winning Michigan by a good amount. And then it was just that dude at the smart board who kept zooming in on Detroit and those counties and being like, man, you just got to hope there are a lot of people who haven't turned out yet. I mean,
pile of votes here in Wayne County. That's what she's looking for, because Wayne County encompasses Detroit. And they zoom in on Wayne County, and I'm expecting her to be killing.
I want to say this because I feel like what they actually do is they have a bias towards there being a story. So he's winning Michigan, he's winning Wisconsin, he's winning Ohio, he's winning Florida, he's winning all that. Like, you could tell he was going to win. And if you read the transcript of us in Skype, I'm a call. I'm like, dude, this guy's won. He's locked up. Wisconsin's over. This is over. Why aren't they calling it? But CNN, even Fox, all of them were just like, I don't know, maybe. And when he's saying, like, look, there's only, 70% voted so far in Detroit, and that's a heavy Hillary area. She needs all this to close it. He's trying to make a story. I don't think he's trying to make Hillary win. I think he's trying to keep
I think he's talking to himself
Oh,
a little bit too.
Yeah,
I think he's.
that was the vibe I was getting. Is that like it was because you could see on the faces of everyone that they did not know this was going to happen. They thought they were going to go out there and be like, and once again, racism and bigotry is defeated in America. And then they would do that, and they'd all be so smug and have like one hand under the desk jerking themselves off. Oh, I'm so fucking tolerant. I'm so fucking tolerant. And then. No, it ended up them just frantically. I must have watched the dude click on Wayne County 60 times as he struggled to use that fucking format on the smart board. Where he's like, let's just zoom in. Nope, that's opened up my web browsing history. Let's get out of there. You know, like and it was
thought he
just
did good with the board.
crazy.
We were all watching
up
CNN
until Michigan
on the internet.
I felt up until Michigan that it was like a Blues making the Stanley Cup thing, where I was like, nope. You know what they do? Things that I like don't win. Things that I like make you think they're going to win, and they make the playoffs 25 years in a row, and they always lose.
At one point in the night, I wrote to Taylor and said, dude, I'm a Philly fan. I'm a Canes fan. We've won some cups. You might not be familiar with what winning is like, but this is it. This is what winning feels like. Live it up. No, I didn't win on Tuesday. But Taylor and Kyle did.
You say happy wife, happy life. Woody's gamer tag is in hell.
No, you know what? I want to talk about that a little bit. So here's how my night went. Kyle laid out his. Like the polls started closing at 8 p.m., right? So they're like reporting some stuff. And we found this. The New York Times did an excellent job with these like real-time prediction meters and stuff. And it was showing Trump early in the night having like a 52% chance winning, a 56% chance. And I'm giddy. I'm happy as can be because it's just entertaining to me to like poke at the two girls in my house who really don't want Trump to win at all. So I'm just like, not that I'm like outwardly starting fights or anything, but I'm totally amused that they're
trolling a bit.
It. I'm trolling
You're
a little bit.
looking over there at them. Enjoying their like stressful moment.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the reason that I'm loving it so much is not that I wanted Trump to win or even that I'm okay with his win. I really wish that he had lost. The reason I'm like just enjoying the troll is that I'm still confident he's going to win. Like, oh, isn't it adorable?
He's going to win.
That like he went slightly to like 56% chance of winning before the bomb dropped and he got his ass kicked. So that's what's in my heart. And as the night goes on, the trolling stops. It's like, dude.
When did the trolling stop? About what state flipped and turned the trolling switch off?
Dude, it wasn't really a state so much as it was like the percentage. Oh, maybe it was North Carolina. Like when Hillary lost
Won
North
it
Carolina.
handily.
Yeah. Dude, it was just becoming clear. There were a whole bunch of states that were sitting at red, and so I am pretty well schooled in the whole electoral math thing. Like I knew all the different routes to victory for each of them. I knew what it meant, and so like I have a full awareness of the severity of losing different states, what mattered, what didn't, where they were expected, and I could see fairly early in the night that it was time to stop teasing the girls because they might be very sad. And you guys might call. Some people are asking like how they are now.
I'm sure they're fine.
They don't like it, but you know they're back to living their Hope's doing her homework, and Jackie was helping me with my stuff today, and everything's fine. But I'll tell you, they do feel like both of them independently have told me they feel a little less safe. That like because the president does set a national tone. I used to think that was crazy. And then when Bill Clinton was cheating on his wife and getting BJs in the office, and there's this question, like, are blowjobs really cheating, right? Because he was like, that's the thing that he said. I don't know if you guys know that. But he was telling Monica that she could only blow him. He wouldn't fuck her because blowjobs aren't cheating. And so that, like, brought this national question. Like, is a blowjob sex? Is that cheating? Is that as much cheating? And, like, the president does set a national tone. Like it happens, and
yeah, but it's still against the law to assault a woman, and that law won't be changing. And he that, you know, before we get too much into the things he will and won't do, let's keep going with reactions to what did.
All right. So anyway,
I love Kyle's face through all this.
They both feel a little. They feel a little less safe. It's not like there's burglars at the door or anything, but they just feel like there's a kind of haze of badness that's on our way. But, you know, like me, so I've been into politics.
The key word, though, is feel.
Right.
They feel there's no actual like nothing's gonna like they're not gonna walk out in the street tomorrow and someone's gonna go, look, a woman, a white woman, the majority group that voted for Trump, assault her.
Unless your blood just boils blue all the way through, you're like me saying, all right, I didn't get what I wanted, but God, I hope he proves me wrong. Right. I think that's where most people are.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was as the night went on, and as soon as I knew he was going to win. I think I knew. I had told myself and meant it that he's going to win earlier than anybody in our group. I didn't even want to say it to you guys quite yet. But I think as soon as he won, he was ahead in North Carolina, ahead in New Hampshire. Although he eventually lost it, I was like, that's it. If he's competing that well in New Hampshire, if he's only losing 60-30 in counties where he should be losing 90-10, he's got this. He's got this. And so then the night changed for me. It was about like putting myself into a position where I could absorb the maximum amount of liberal tears. It was about getting as much coverage as possible.
You opened your own salt mine. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but at Hillary's rally, they had this CGI thing with fireworks and all kinds of stuff where she was going to come out and literally shattered the glass ceiling. There was a CGI glass.
True? Oh, CGI.
Yeah, there's a CGI glass ceiling prepared for her to come out like WrestleMania style with like the sparklers going. So she's like awash in a glow of just bright light, and then they tone down, and she just like goes Super Saiyan, and this big glass ceiling breaks, and she becomes Madam President as Newsweek wanted.
I saw that.
Yeah. Well, that presentation can sit right next to the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup winners 1970 hats.
And Al Gore's low emissions celebration of 2000. Those both got scrapped. Not happening.
Dude, so I have a question. Kyle and Chiz had, I'll call it a spirited debate maybe, on Skype. And it was about the Democrats protesting after the Trump victory. And the core of it was, had the Republicans lost, they would have stayed home, they would have been respectful, maybe bummed, but like they're not the people who go out and protest. And there's kind of something to be said for that, right? Heck, you could argue they didn't love Obama. Obama won twice. And neither time were there Republicans taking to the street, like causing trouble.
That's the answer. That literally answered your question right there. Well, think about 2008.
But there's another thing though. Like the Republicans haven't really been tested twice like the fucking Democrats have of their candidate getting more votes and losing the election. That's a bitter pill to swallow that you haven't tasted yet.
I don't know if you saw this. CNN, I guess, just projected today that Trump is going to win the popular vote.
Oh, I hope so. That's a big deal to me. It might sound like I'm not, because that's not my guy, but I really like it when the president gets the most votes. I think it's absolutely. Yeah. So if you're a Democrat,
for sure.
Like I don't know if I think of myself as an independent, but whatever. I loathe the fact that, I don't know if it's this election, but prior to this election, the Democrats got more votes for the House of Representatives like 2 or 3 times in a row and don't own the House. Like, they've been getting more votes, but because it's so fucking gerrymandered, because Republicans own the state governments, the governors and like the Democrats get more votes and they get fewer people in. That sucks. And it looked like, again, because it happened to me.
Are you saying like across the board that happens, or like an aggregate?
An aggregate, right.
So the aggregate makes sense that Democrats would win because urban areas, like the biggest counties, are overwhelmingly Democratic.
Well, that's not how it works, though. They'll split it up. So every representative should have roughly kind of the same population. But what they do is they split it up so that the Democrats like dominate their area. And then the Republicans win by like a more comfy margin. So the Democrats will get like 80% vote in D.C. or something like that. And then the Republicans are winning like 55-45. So they can get more wins. And the Democrats.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right, but it feels unfair if you're on the less populated. Like if you're on the Democrat side of that, you're like, "Fuck, we're so fucked."
Oh yeah,
move to a better neighborhood.
That doesn't seem
it's that easy. It's that easy. You just move to a better neighborhood and you get your people voted in, right?
Yeah,
easy as that. So, but no, from my standpoint, it's not about me, like my personal representative. Like I wish that Democrats were represented by their population in office instead of by the gerrymandered version of that. Anyway, so when we're back to the thing, would Republicans have done it? I don't know. It was a little more of a bitter pill to swallow, given that he
The real
lost
question,
the popular vote.
Would thousands of young
and you had
Republicans
Trump
have taken to the
the
streets?
gong of it's rigged. It's like he was prepping his people to be pissed off.
He was preparing for Trump TV to launch.
He's prepared
That's
for
what
Trump
he was doing.
TV. And that was the core at my little argument with Chiz last night was, what do you think Trump's motive is when he says something like that it's a rigged system? And if you really analyze that, the only thing that can come of him saying that is to motivate his people to go out and vote some more, get it done, because we're fighting an uphill battle here. This isn't fair. We're not on an even playing field. We have to give that much, 10% extra to even compete. That's what it felt like to me. And maybe preparing himself for Trump TV, where we're going to fight the power from the
He meant
airwaves.
what he said. Like, you really have to read between, and I'd be right. Not everything is so simple. But if you look at it from a simple point of view, he's saying, if I don't win, this thing's rigged. If I don't win, I might not accept this result. Right?
It's a no-lose
what does that mean?
statement. Well, no, it's a no-lose
Like he's going to lead a revolution?
If he says this is rigged,
that's
he's
silly.
not gonna,
That never happens.
If he says that it's rigged, he at the same time gets more people out to vote, which I guarantee he was thinking of that. Like, may as well get people out there to vote if maybe I can win this. And he's also prepping that hardcore alt-right core that really adamant followers of him to be willing to shell out their $12 a month for Trump TV starting December 1st. Like, that's I think he was doing. That seems
1,000 times more likely than that he's preparing the militia groups to rise up and like come behind General Trump, and he's like, meet me in San Antonio, we're heading north. That's not Trump. That's not the Trump we know, right? Like, we know something about Trump.
Well, you paint a pretty ridiculous picture, like the General Trump meeting in San Antonio with leading a battle.
How else do you lead your militia groups to overthrow the U.S. government?
Because that's what you're suggesting.
What I'm trying to say is he was going to get people to riot. He was going to get people to not accept the vote, and he was sort of tipping the scale in case it was close. Right?
But they're just rioting against thin air, right? These rioters now, there's nobody fucking listening. We're just cleaning up their messes as they break glass, spray paint, throw the things at cars, and assault.
Trump seemed like he was preparing people to not accept the result. And there's a really convenient thing here that I've seen, Kyle in particular, if I'm honest.
I don't think you're willing to look for motive in action.
Do I get to finish my thought at all? Like, that was just totally
if you want to.
Thank you. So Kyle in particular, I think, has sometimes said, like, oh, the crazy things Trump does, he didn't mean that, or he won't really do that. Like, I won't accept the result of this. And then the things he likes, he says, aha, he actually is going to build a wall. He actually is going to implement this stuff. Oh, don't worry. That other thing he talked about, that's silliness. That won't happen.
That's because I think I'm able to look at the things he says and try to put myself in his shoes and look for a motive. Like, why do you say this thing? How does that benefit you?
Mm-hmm. I did that before. I did that with W. And now I'm cutting you off, so sorry.
I'm used to it.
Well played.
Me too.
I got a big cutoff callus right here.
Oh, please. I got one too, but nobody sees it.
Interruption bruises.
Yeah, that's funny. Stop it. But I thought that with W. With W, he's like, I'm a compassionate conservative on this, on that. I'm like, oh, cool. I voted for that guy the first time. And, I'm like, and then he gets in, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, he's actually just doing all this, like, even the things I thought he wouldn't do, he's doing them. He's doing what he said he would do.
But that's not looking for motive. The guy says, I'm a compassionate conservative because he just wants your vote. He's manipulating you.
The motive
is
to
not because
get
he
the
wants you to
Bible
know he's a nice guy and buy him a birthday gift. I just think that, like, when Trump says something like, I'm going to build the wall, he's calling toward his extreme alt-right groups that think a wall will be they're like, yeah, walls keep people out. I got a wall in my backyard. He may not build the wall. I don't know if he's going to build the wall. I want him to build the wall. But when he says it, the more likely scenario, the more likely motive is just to drum up votes, and he won't do it. Of course, that's more likely.
Yeah. It's the same kind of thing as like, oh, I'm going to close Guantanamo Bay because that's a huge issue right now. And everybody's like, yeah, this is the kind of really just, righteous guy that actually will go in, shut it down and clean it up and get us out of these wars without leaving a giant power vacuum in one of the most hostile areas in the world. He's going to do all these things. And then Guantanamo's still open.
You might not know he tried. This is the thing. So it
didn't happen, though.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
He failed on his promise.
That's true. That's undeniable.
But I'm saying we're going back to the motive for it. I don't think he said it because he really wanted to close Guantanamo Bay that much. I think that he said it because at the time the hope change message that was being put out was kind of we're changing the old guard. This is a new way of doing things. We're not doing this torture. We're not doing this like creepy gulag style thing. No, it was a change point.
Like
I think that
first
would be his
10
motive.
days in order in office. Barack Obama issued an executive order closing Guantanamo Bay. And it turns out that, executive orders are not the end-all, be-all of what gets done. Like,
yep.
It was
not in that regard anyway.
Yeah, he meant to do it. When he said he was going to do it, it's because he wanted to, and then he issued an executive order, and it turns out that if you don't have the support of all the people underneath you, even executive orders are bullshit.
Yeah, but even then, he's not stupid. He knew that executive order was going to get overturned.
I think that the alt-left is bigger than the alt-right.
It's just
and I think they're very racist. I think they are among the most racist Americans, much more so than the white supremacists in many ways. You notice they always want to go to Canada. It's never Mexico. You notice that they're the first ones to call for violence. They're the first ones to beat a white man in the street. They're the first ones to commit actual hate crimes. You haven't seen like all the three black guys beating the Trump supporter half to death and robbing him in the street today?
I just think that the Trump supporters have their share of violence too.
I don't think so. Not nearly as much. I think it's disproportionate big time. I think they're much quicker to be the ones who's screeching and
Donald
like ready
Trump
to hit someone.
himself used to cheer it on in the primaries and take his coat while you're at it, right? Like,
oh, that wasn't about violence. It was about a guy standing up, being disruptive, and now he has to be removed from the building because he's in a private meeting, like screaming obscenities. It's like, all right, he's got to go. Now he did take his coat, and I thought that was funny.
Through biased eyes?
No. Yeah, they took his coat, but all right, so there's a big difference.
There's a phenomenal difference between
beating a white man in the street because he's a white Trump supporter and, beating him terribly for a long period of time, and
multiple people,
a guy who disrupts a private event, and now security has to take him out. It's not like the crowd, like, get him down. It's like, I was at this thing. I saw how they take him out. Like, I saw it 3 times how they're removed from the building.
Shortly after he got in trouble. And they were accusing him of being violent. So he was really on the sort of fixing that perception when you were there.
But to be fair and remember it, there was not very much violence at Trump rallies, unless it was started by someone who obviously was there because they disagreed with Trump.
Yeah, that was there. If you disagree with Trump, let me do the comparison.
Well, hold on. Let me. I don't want to keep it so truncated. By comparison, like I had this talk with someone where they were like, "Oh man, it's just crazy. Like anytime you hear about the violence coming out, it's always the Trump side. It's never the Clinton side." Which we can get into the whole Podesta thing that they were staging violence and nonsense and trying to incite people because they're pieces of shit, Podesta. But there's a reason. There was never any violence at Hillary rallies because people didn't show up trying to rabble rouse and shit stir and start fights because there wasn't a concerted. Someone just went to a Hillary rally and started.
A guy went to a Hillary rally and started like screaming and disrupting. I was actually Obama, and he was disrupting Obama. And Obama said, "Whoa, don't boo him! Don't boo him! This is an older gentleman." He had that vibe about him that he had served in a war. And he's like, I think this man is a veteran. Let's show him some respect. He's just, trying to voice his opinion. Don't boo him, right? Whereas on Trump's side, he literally, in the primaries especially, like before he was getting heat for all the violence, he was encouraging it, steal his coat. He liked it when they hit the guys. That's how it went. And then Trump got some negativity based on the violence at his events, and he was cooling it off. That's how I like
when they took their.
What about George Soros funding Black Lives Matter and destroying inner city areas? That's not like a Hillary rally, but I think that it's very unfair to frame this as though there's some sort of intrinsic violence to the Trump side and that there's not this problem that does happen on the Hillary side. And those people do tend to be Hillary supporters.
And the Black Lives Matter stuff, like that, I mean, they're
very divisive.
Big riots. If I were to go there and just like be me, I feel like I would get beat up.
You wouldn't be safe.
Yeah.
That's where I wanted to go to with all this. That's why it's very easy. There's a very easy litmus test to see which side is actually more violent and racist. I think it's much easier for a person to stand up and say, I'm a liberal, I'm a Hillary Clinton supporter, I support everything she stands behind from top to bottom, and shout that from the rooftops. You can do that anywhere. You can do that right here in my conservative super hometown that won by 87% to Trump. Nothing will happen to you ever. You can be a black man in a big crowd of rednecks, and you can say that, and they will not hurt you. But if you do that, but I'm literally afraid to do that. Who here would not be afraid of physical violence if they did that for Trump?
You could not pay me. You couldn't have paid me to wear a Make America Great Again hat as I walked to the Blues game last night along the street. You could not have paid me because I wouldn't have felt safe. I would have been looking around everywhere like somebody's going to fucking mug me.
I am afraid of the violent left, but I don't live in a convenient little magic bubble that I can back up into and hide from everybody from. So I just have to be me and keep my fucking 45 with me, because that's just how I feel. But they are definitely the scarier, more violent, quicker to physical violence side. They're the ones who will come after you for your political beliefs, just for you exercising your version of democracy.
Maybe not even physical violence all the time. Maybe you tweet something they don't like and they try and get you to lose your job. Maybe they see, oh, this sportscaster said the wrong thing when he was talking about the Bucks. He was insensitive in this comment. Let's get him fired. Let's send, thousands of emails to his boss. And that doesn't really happen on the other side.
This Salon article is really interesting. I don't know much about Salon.com, but it's focusing on a WikiLeaks document that came out of the DNC. And it's all about their strategy to make the more far-right candidates from the Republican side the front runners. Our goals and strategy. This is a DNC document right here. Our goals and strategies. Our hope is that the goal of the potential Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign and the DNC would be one and the same: to make whomever the Republicans nominate unpalatable to the majority of the electorate. We have outlined 3 strategies to obtain our goal. 1, force all Republican candidates to lock themselves into extremely conservative positions that will hurt them in the general election. 2, undermine any credibility or trust Republican presidential candidates have to make inroads to our coalition or independents. And 3, muddy the waters on any potential attack towards Hillary Rodham Clinton. They call this the Pied Piper candidates, this Pied Piper strategy. There are 2 ways to approach the strategies mentioned above. The first is to use the field as a whole to inflict damage on itself. Similar to what happened to Mitt Romney in 2012. The variety of candidates is a positive here. And many of the lesser-known candidates, the page scrolled on me, many of the lesser-known candidates can serve as a cudgel to move the more established candidates further to the right. In this scenario, we want to marginalize the more extreme candidates. We don't want to marginalize the more extreme candidates, but make them more Pied Piper candidates who actually represent the mainstream of the Republican Party. Pied Piper candidates include, but are not limited to, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, and Ben Carson. We need to be elevating the Pied Piper candidates so that they are the leaders of the pack and tell the press to take them seriously. Hillary Clinton fucked her own ass.
No. Yeah. In the truest sense, she did, by being so unbelievably unlikable that even this went according to. This is what the best part is. Everybody's like, yeah, this side sucks, that side sucks, nobody's happy with it. One side, against the entire system, this guy makes it. He didn't want, the Republicans didn't want Trump. No way. They were like, dude, no, we got to get Cruz in there or something. No fucking way. We're going to lose with this guy for sure. And the Democrats knew it so much that they said, yeah.
Ted Cruz is the outsider candidate. Everybody, not many people know that. I didn't know that. I don't know much about Ted Cruz. But if you remove Donald Trump, Ted Cruz is the outsider alt-right guy who's farther to the right than everybody, and the rest of the Republicans are doing this number. Paul Ryan is doing this number, not wanting to be around Ted Cruz because he's so far to the right. It just so happens that Donald Trump.
I'm just to get back to what I'm saying real quick. I was finishing something when Kyle jumped in. I think it's funny that there's this equivalence of they're both so terrible, they're both so awful. The entire establishment has forsaken us. Really, Trump, against all odds, got through this whole system and won it. The Republicans were kicking and screaming. They hated it just, weeks before the election and up to the election. Prominent Republicans are saying, no, I'm going to vote for our candidates, but I'm not going to be stumping for them. A lot of divisiveness in that Republican crowd. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, groomed, raised, definitely the choice. The Democrats undermined Sanders. They say, oh, she won so many votes anyway. But You don't know that she still would have been a fair race. So you can't say for sure. If it were a fair race, Bernie Sanders very well may have beaten Hillary Clinton in the primaries.
And he would have beaten Donald Trump because of his turnout and enthusiasm. Just look at the number of votes.
He had so much enthusiasm. I can't. Bernie supporters out there probably feel they're the happiest of the people on the left, I would think.
I feel so sorry
they see
for
Hillary
the
and they feel
supporters.
vindicated. Yeah, I feel bad for him too.
I feel so sorry for all of you out there who are Bernie supporters. I feel so badly for you because you had a guy who is, not the man's not dead. Like that's not what happens in our political races. For any Ethiopians listening, we don't do that here. That's what they do.
You think they have racists in Ethiopia?
You're lost. Well, yeah, but they're on foot. So
That's Kenya.
Well, it's a losing rivalry.
I lost my whole train of thought. All right, so Bernie is. I don't think Bernie ever told me a lie once. All right, I think Bernie is like 99% fucking honest. He would occasionally say something that I felt was a bit manipulative, like he's trying to he's doing a little political thing here. But those instances were rare. Bernie's a great, genuine, loving guy, and when I say loving, I mean for our country. He had a vision for America that he believed would be a utopia, and he thought he knew how to get us there, and he wanted to do it to make America great again for reals. When if you look at the breakdown of the voting, white women is what gave Trump this win. Trump won like 30. His huge numbers, considering that this is the guy who wants to build the wall with Latinos, which I think the Latino thing has a little bit of something to do with the Latinos who are voting in this country. Presumably went through the correct path to become citizens, which is an arduous and difficult path. And maybe they don't like the idea of someone hopping a fence and then instantly getting amnesty. I'm just saying. Maybe that's why they voted for Trump so much.
He was supposed to lose dramatically to Latinos in the same way that Obama won. Well, not the same level that Obama won blacks at 98% or whatever it was. But he won a third of the Latino vote. That's mind-blowing.
He won white working women, college. Wow, that's dirty.
Like all those articles now that are saying blame. This is a problem with white men. This is a white men problem. You know why they're targeting white men other than it's the safest group to make fun of and mock? Because they really, really want to fucking call all the black people, all the Mexicans, all the women that voted for Trump. They want to call them Uncle Toms. They want to call them traitors.
I feel like we've said it a dozen times.
White women went for Trump.
White women.
Yeah, if you include Latino women and black women and the whole gamut, I'm sure he lost with women.
And 53 to 43 went for Trump.
Okay, and that is shocking. That is shocking right there. We would have never thought that would have happened because she's the first female candidate, right? You would think that she gets that gimme vote like Obama got with black.
As you were there, like I'm listening in my head. To me, the reason women aren't voting for Trump is that he's fucking bad to women. Right? Like he cheats on every wife he has. He's cheating on his current wife. I think she's okay with that. Like I know you don't like that because of like your personal beliefs about marriage. I know that. So you have very strong feelings about marriage and that contract and what it means to you. You can't just write that off. You hear him on the bus saying, I just go up and grab women by the pussy. I get away with it because I'm a star. I go behind in the locker rooms. I get to check out all these. Hold on. I can hardly speak without being called interrupting. I get my chance. He says he goes back into the locker room of Miss USA, Miss Universe, and Miss Teen USA, and under the guise of checking it out. And you can tell it's a fucking ruse, right?
They're 18 or older.
He's not good to. They might be Miss Teen USA. I don't know, but okay, they are, I guess. But he likes to fuck women. Every woman he can find, and it's not like a respect loving thing. He's a misogynist. It's really what he is. And I'm not saying that he has no respect for all women, right? I've read long interviews with women who work for him and stopped working for him, and they had some success there. But I just don't think that he views women like yourself.
But going back to the marriage thing, like I got no issue with how he runs his marriage or
a couple of his ex-wives might.
Do they?
Yeah.
Have they said things like
they dumped him because he cheated? I mean, it wasn't like they had this agreement.
I don't think that makes you say. Okay, well, hold on. You're making a huge jump here from the way he treats his wives by cheating on them to misogyny, which is the hatred of women. Like, he just sees a woman and he just viscerally is like, that stupid whore, I fucking hate her. What a bad person. Or even on a less extreme scale of misogyny, I guess, of just like, oh, she's just stupid and dumb and they're not quite on the same level as men. If I had to be honest about the number of misogynists I've met in my life, it's probably close to zero.
You might have a high definition
that's what the word means. All these words have been polluted so much that the definition doesn't mean anything. Racist used to mean someone that would be like, oh, that black guy, he's lesser than me. He's not as good as me because he's black. Now racist is, hey, that guy, he thinks you should have to have a driver's license to vote. What? Racist, or like whatever the case might be. That it's been tamped down so much that now words can be applied willy-nilly. And I sincerely don't think that he hates all women. I think that he says stupid, buffoonish things. But I think that we've all said stupid, buffoonish things, and that
contempt for or ingrained prejudice against women. I mean, you don't have to fucking want to burn every woman you see to be a real misogynist. Like the fact that you've lived an entire life without ever meeting one who didn't have an ingrained prejudice against women. I mean,
ingrained prejudice. Okay, I was thinking more sexism being ingrained prejudice, but misogyny I was thinking as a higher level than sexism. I've met sexists. I'm saying I don't know anyone who just really has a ton, or I think I probably met a few people who just have a lot of contempt, usually like really bitter guys who aren't getting laid, who just think that all women are out there in like this cabal of like, haha, how best to make Steven miserable today. Like, there are guys like that. I don't think that Trump is one of them. I think that just like everything in this election, it got overblown tremendously. Nobody thought he was a misogynist for, I don't know, the 30, 40 years that he was in the public spotlight. Nobody thought he was a racist when he was, hanging out with Al Sharpton or whoever the fuck in the 90s, Don King. It's only stuff that came up when he ran for president.
The people that won a lawsuit against him for not letting black people move into his hotels thought he was racist, and the people that when he was a slumlord, like not repairing the place in an effort to get them to move out, those people thought he was racist too.
And that was a pricing issue. Or if the black person had enough money.
Yeah, I know that one. You can kind of write off as a scummy.
No.
Move.
Well, hold on. It is a legit business move if you require a certain amount of money to live in your building, and they don't have it.
That's not what happened. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when he didn't maintain the building in an attempt to get it like what do they call it? Cordoned off.
Condemned.
Condemned. That's what I'm looking for. Attempt to get it condemned to force everyone to move out. Like,
you're saying he was a slumlord, but is that direct racism?
No, that's what I just said. I just said that. I said, that one you should write off as a business.
There's no race involved in that at all. He just wanted to get those fucking people out of that building so he could tear it down and build something better.
And he was found guilty of this, or he's settled. I forget. But it was legit. He wouldn't let black people move into his building. It wasn't about income.
He opened a country club in Florida to blacks and Jews.
I think we should talk about. I think we should talk about the things that we actually think are going to happen and are actually going to affect lives within, say, the first 30 days of a Trump presidency, and maybe not the things that are actually the things that are completed, but the things that are actually going to be done that he's going to do that will affect things. I think in the first 30 days, you're going to see a lot of executive decisions. Is that what they're called?
Executive orders.
Executive orders. I think you're going to see him start undermining Obamacare. He's going to go after that big time.
You're not going to see a war with Russia?
You're not going to see a war with Russia now. We prevented that. Don't worry. And I think that he's going to what was the other thing that I actually thought he was going to do early? I fucking lost. Not the wall. No. It was something he's actually going to do. I fucking lost it. I guess I'm asking you guys, what do you think he's going to do that'll happen, that'll change things for Americans?
I'm super interested in how he stocks his cabinet, because that's a big deal. I think Trump is going to be more hands-off than most presidents. And I should note, hands-off doesn't mean bad. Some of my favorite ones, like Obama and Bill Clinton, were hands-on. But there have been great hands-off presidents, too. People who just put good people around them and let them run their jobs. But Trump, I still see him as the guy who isn't really interested in the drudgery of running the government. I think he likes winning. And I don't think he even gives a fuck what winning is, just so long as he won. So long as whatever he wanted is what happened, and he's flexible on what he wants. He just wants to win.
Trans-Pacific Partnership, that's dead. Yeah, not going to happen. That's absolutely dead on the floor. Like Obama's current tour, where he's going to Peru and
he might
2 or 3 other countries.
With people that fill his head and then whatever those people want is what Trump wants. That's how I see his presidency being run. So I hope he gets people who do the sorts of things that I like. I'm sure everyone hopes that. And like when I don't know, when Newt Gingrich is Secretary of State, if that guy is like crazy pro-Israel and wants to bomb Iran to stop them from doing whatever, like
that's the other one. That is the one. Iran deal, done. He didn't like that deal. He didn't like it.
I'll tell you
That's
why
it's a bad deal.
You need to stay in that deal because
why?
We already did the shitty part. Like step 1 of that deal, give them like billions of dollars. Step 2, they behave.
We're going to get that money back.
Deal? Oh, good luck with that. Yeah. No, it's like, all right, Kyle, I'm paying you for tech support. Here's $1 billion up front. Now you have to support me. And then, like, what? I cut that deal? No.
Hey, and don't use this huge sum of money to further your research into the things I'm telling you not to do.
I'm not saying
don't
I love the deal.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying if step 1 is you give them all the money, step 2 is not cut the deal.
Did you see that Saudi prince that Trump had formerly had the tiff with on Twitter? Like,
yes.
Come back and because it's times like that is why this is so sweet for me. Like that is the little moments like that, little moments like the hardcore far alt left Hillary supporters who are squalling like children, Miley Cyrus crying, Lena Dunham crying, all those chubby white cunts that said they were going to go to Canada because they don't like Mexicans.
Amy Schumer.
All of them
For
who
the
were
record,
crying, and now we're backing
Jackie
out.
and Hope did not cry. They just wish their person won.
I'm not lumping them in, of course.
But
Like,
people
Jesus
do.
Christ.
No,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
do. There's, I'm doing some vlogs again, and people are writing triggered about them in all capital letters. That's not really how it went down. They just wish their guy won. In the same way you might feel if your team made it to the Stanley Cup and lost.
No,
Yeah,
and the
it's
same
totally
way you might feel if they were about to hand your team the Stanley Cup, and then like someone ran in and took it, and was like, nope, Red Wings
they were
win.
Favored. Everyone knew their win was a bygone conclusion. They won the President's Cup that year, and then they
know what it was? It's like you listened to the whole game on the radio, and the commentators have been lying to you about the score. St. Louis Blues up 6-0 now over the Montreal Canadiens in this wonderful 2016 Stanley Cup, and then I'm so excited, and then I get home and I turn the TV on, and the result is, a sweeping Canadiens victory, 10-0 against the St. Louis Blues. They barely even showed up tonight. It's like, well, who's been talking to me the whole way home? Like, what the fuck's going on? I thought I had this in the bag, and now out of nowhere I lost. But yeah, I'm sure Jackie and Hope are doing what healthy people do, which is kind of be like, well, shit, I don't want this to happen, but life goes on. I'm not going to be like, everything's not going to collapse around me.
I got no problem with that. And I got no problem with crying about it either. I just don't want you to cry about it and then like go
around me. Yeah.
What I don't like, some of the things that I've heard is like, college professors excusing students from their midterm because of the trying time they're having. That's bullshit. Yes, you see, I knew Woody would have that reaction. I knew because he's with me on this one. Like,
oh no, that's
don't
true.
like that safe space. Shit. Excuse me for using the F word. I don't mean gay people. I mean assholes.
So we hardly talked about politics this year. The election is in 5 days. Is that about right? 4 days, something like that. 5.
Yeah, we really did scoot past the season without talking about it much.
All right, and that's enough. Next.
Yeah, it's not as entertaining. Like the only politics talk I want to do is the fact that about how boring it's been this time around. Like it was so fun when it was Hillary.
There was supposed to be a season finale. Remember, we were all excited for a season finale, and it ended. 2020 ended like Game of Thrones.
Did you see Tucker Carlson's report? It was pretty funny.
I did see some where he's like, I sent super secret documents in the mail and they got taken. It's like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that?
He has this like, we don't have any copies, we don't have any photos. Dog ate my homework, but we totally nailed him. We have the magic documents. Now, UPS said they found him. So we'll see. Maybe the whole thing is true, but he looked silly for a day and the internet mocked him.
Yeah, but even if that is true, who would ship it like that, I don't know what kind of evidence it is.
Without making a copy.
Can't you do like a Dropbox or something?
I mean, you could just take a photo with your phone, right, and have a second copy of the secret documents.
I feel like if I wanted to verify them as like a, I don't know, reliable, responsible, like a reputable is what I'm looking for, news agency, I might want the originals. But I would also want you to scan in some PDFs so I can see them now.
What, I'm going to wait till tomorrow to see these things? Like that, it seemed a little fishy on the surface.
Of course, it didn't happen. There's no chance that happened.
Tucker Carlson was taken to court, and he successfully argued that no reasonable person would believe the things he says on his show, and won.
Kyle knows the mail, so I trust his judgment. He knows what is and
you would
isn't
always
shit.
make a copy.
Solid
It's so easy nowadays. There's no excuse. You can take a fucking Polaroid. I mean, shit. You can do it back in the day even. So, no excuse.
I don't get it. Like, who's being fooled by that? Other than
people who
boomers
watch
who,
Tucker,
like, maybe
my
don't know how to
Facebook
use-
feed, it is buying it hook, line, and sinker.
My mom
They
bought
also
it. So.
mail documents like that or pertinent things. They don't just fax or email or Dropbox it or file share.
Yeah,
they know
they're all-
there's a lot of great options out there, right? Other than putting it in a box and mailing it.
They're all over the board, really. You know, like you would think the way that they express their political views that they're all like trailer park, you know, whatever. But they're not. A lot of them are really financially successful and love and life and the whole thing, and they're just diehard towards the right. But
Well, I mean, that seems almost like I think you're going to scoop up a lot of rich ones because of the nature of the hobby, you know? Like
Sure.
the trailer park kooks aren't going to find their way into paramotoring. Like they're going to buy extra ATVs or like a jet ski or a Sea-Doo way before they get far down the line enough of boredom and
Lottery
experience
tickets.
until they're like paramotor, you know?
fair. Look, I tried to be unbiased when I talk about stuff, but I'm going to let it slip. You know what I really want this time? You know what I really want? You know that awful crying Democrat woman who couldn't believe Hillary lost?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
meme?
pretty fun.
Yeah, she's the meme. She's horrible. I've been watching her for 4 years, like portrayed as the typical liberal. Please give me an overweight trailer park angry Trump supporter breaking maybe something of his own when he realizes that Trump lost. Like, can we get a counter meme for the next 4 years? Give me this. Give me this. I've been taking
Maybe. I think part of
fat-haired-
what set it up for that, though, is that at the time it was like everyone went into that night like foregone conclusion, Hillary's going to win, and so
Sure.
it hit a lot harder. Whereas this time, a lot of people I think are going into it. At least the three of us, I don't know about Blame Truth, anticipating Biden to win, and so it won't be as big a shock for people. Or I guess some people are probably thinking like 100%, 50. California's going red. Like there's probably some people.
That's the people in my universe. They're just all about Trump. You know, they're hitting me up with Trump's going to show them again and a good 1822 laughing emojis in a row next to it. It's like, come on. Like you're really rubbing it in for a guy who's 8 points behind, 11 points behind nationally, like something like that. But whatever. I've got a bunch of bets. I paid you, by the way, Taylor.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
is that no? That's not the biggest bet on the history of the show.
What's
You
the
guys have bet
biggest?
$100. You and
Oh, that'd be
Kyle.
a tie then. Yeah. I paid Kyle too. Jesus Christ.
All right.
But I
You
got
got five back. You got $5 back from me over.
I got a list of big bets on here that I've been writing down. If Biden wins, we're cleaning up. I should be in the black again.
Wait, are you bets between who?
Like paramotor idiots. Well, I hope they're idiots.
Oh.
It's quite, but so far it's been me. It's the idiot. So
How much is on the line total?
300, I think, which would.
Oh my goodness, you are
Now
going
I
to be
know
so
the
upset if Trump
funniest
wins.
option.
well, I mean, I do
no.
have $300, but we'll all keep eating. But
Yeah. Oh, I know that, but still, I know you don't like to lose.
Where I'm especially unhappy is when I'm really confident and I lose. Like we bet on fights and stuff, and it's like, you know, like I wasn't sure going into it. When I lost $100 to you, I think the bet was that Trump wouldn't be the candidate. That was the bet. And at the time, he was like getting impeached. They were like talking about the 25th Amendment and all. And I also had this idea that he's 74 years old and fat, that he would like, those were all the things I had. And I confidently exclaimed that Trump wasn't going to be running for re-election. That's what bothers me. Like, it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to be a dick about it. And that's where I think I landed. So I apologized and I paid. So
I mean, it made for great entertainment, so that it's worth every penny.
there it is.
But think about, like, this might be the last bit of political entertainment. 2024, what's it going to be? Like Ted Cruz
Paul
versus
Ryan.
Kamala.
I don't even want to talk about the election, honestly, because like I haven't been watching it. Chiz texted us and said like Trump's about to lose Kentucky. It's all over. I don't know if that was a joke
Seems
or
like
if that's
this
true.
one-
I interpreted that as
Wait
like
longer.
sarcasm around early results being inaccurate. Is what I thought I read into that.
Yeah, because it's all like mail in. They're still counting now and shit, right?
Like half
Like
the vote
they
was in
work.
yesterday.
Don't they count it in the order they get it? Or
It
no?
varies by state. Like Pennsylvania, for example, they're not allowed to even look at the mail-ins until today. And other states like North Carolina, they've been counting the mail-ins all along. So there are some states like North Carolina that at 7:30, there may be like a 60% of our results are in, hypothetically, something like that, because they know what the mail-in votes are. They've just been keeping it secret because they feel like that would influence other votes.
And that makes a lot of sense. Like, I think, wasn't it 2016 that like some of the media got reprimanded where it was like, we're calling it for Ohio, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, polls are still open. You shouldn't call stuff until the polls are closed.
You might be right. 2016, I know they did that way earlier. Like they would call, like back in 2000, for example, they would call states while they were still voting. Like, you know, and they'd be right, like
It's irresponsible though.
it looks like California's going Democrat, like, so, they were, I don't remember them getting states wrong, except in 2000 when they called Florida for,
remanded
they
where it was
called
like,
it for Gore and then took it back, or vice versa. That guy with one path to victory usually, but not always, loses. That's how I see Trump this time around. He needs to win Florida. He needs to win Pennsylvania. He needs to win Arizona. He needs to win North Carolina. And I don't know if I'm missing any. But
He probably needs some Michigan or Pennsylvania mixed in there too.
I don't think he needs Michigan and Wisconsin in this. If he were to get those, then he would be able to lose one
He
of the
probably needs a
others.
Pennsylvania and an Illinois or something though.
oh, he's not going to win Illinois.
Pennsylvania, yes. You're
Or not
probably
Illinois,
thinking of
but,
Indiana.
Ohio.
Oh, Ohio, yes. Ohio, Pennsylvania.
It is a rough road to hoe for the Republicans.
Yeah. So Ohio, he's winning in the polls slightly, but whatevs. But he needs to win like 5 coin tosses. And if he loses any one of them, he loses the election.
I was thinking that he's going to win Ohio, win Pennsylvania, and win Florida, but he's going to lose 296 to 241 because Biden will win Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina. And I had my big upset pick, and this wasn't based on anything other than I wanted to have a big upset pick. Is I put Georgia as blue, as a light blue.
Ooh.
So we'll see. So 296 to 241 is my number guess.
I could do one real quick.
We'll see how. Oh, do you want me to link you?
I know where one is.
Yeah, I haven't looked at any of that stuff. I haven't really followed it at all. It's
This
looked
is all
bad for
just my
Trump for a
guess.
while.
This is all just guessing.
Yeah.
I'm almost
Oh, and I put Arizona to go Trump also.
really.
But even with my little guessing, still doesn't put him over the top.
So I have Biden. Oh wait, whoops. I have Biden winning with shit. My thing's moving. 287. I gave Trump Florida, North Carolina, Ohio. Basically, I just gave Biden Pennsylvania and Arizona of the toss-up states.
Okay. Yeah, I was seeing people talking about like, oh, Trump might win Wisconsin and Michigan, maybe, but there is a 0% chance he wins Minnesota. Minnesota. When's the last time they went red? 72 with Nixon. Like it's been.
538 says Biden has a 93% chance of winning Minnesota. So effectively agreeing with you. I think maybe some people mix up Michigan and Minnesota in their heads. I can understand that.
Maybe the MI and the MN.
They're both cold, worthless places.
Hey, we stay in the Midwest here.
There's a bunch of states where they have Biden up by like 1 or 2%. And I give most of those to Trump. And then there's Pennsylvania where they have him up like 5%. And that's the one I'm like, Biden's going to win that. It's his home state, kind of. Like,
You think so?
I don't know, man. So
go ahead.
If it weren't Trump, if it were a different Republican and they had like the same policies and stuff, I would think that the Republicans had a very good chance. Just because Biden does seem like he's going to be anti-coal, anti-natural gas, anti-fracking. Really,
True.
and that's Pennsylvania's lifeblood.
True.
If it weren't Trump, if it were a fucking Jeb Bush or a Marco Rubio or something like that, and the policies were the same, and plus, like Biden had that anti-gun tweet the other night. That Pennsylvania boys,
Yeah.
I went straight to his Twitter to fact check it. Did
They
they?
deleted it. Yeah, they deleted it. They also deleted the one, or no, wait, this one wasn't deleted. It was Biden saying, when I get elected, I am coming after gun manufacturers. He said that. I'm coming after gun manufacturers. And it was like, well, that is fucking terrifying.
Can I
Well, just
rant
give
for
me
a
my
moment?
give me my weed and you take the guns and we'll call it even.
No, just no.
You take Taylor and Woody's guns and give me my weed, and the world will all work out. We'll all be even.
Can I rant for a second? So
Yeah,
the
go for it.
Electoral College kind of favors Republicans right now. The reason is that there are states that aren't very well populated, so they get like 3 or 4 times the amount of representatives per person than like a California or a Texas does. Okay, that's just fact. We'll set that aside. We're not going to change the Electoral College. To change the Electoral College would require it benefiting both parties at the same time, which is inconceivable. So, working in the reality that we actually live in as opposed to the one we want, what are Democrats to do? Step 1, according to me, back off the gun thing, jackasses. Stop it. Stop back. Like, if some Democrat ran for president and in every one of his ads he was assembling and disassembling an AR-15 without looking, that would be good. I want him to do that. Because every time he's making a point, disassemble and reassemble an AR-15, just all feel as if it was easy for him. And
I mean, that's great optics for a blue state Democrat.
Yeah,
Like-
just do that. This is who I am. I'm the Democrat that won't take your gun away. Change it up. Make it an AK-47. I don't care, right? You think I can only do American guns? Here's a Russian one. I'll break down an HK. Is that
I can
German?
break them all down, but I only do American out of pride for this great U.S.
Or is it Austrian? I don't know where HK comes from. But
HK is German.
Okay.
Heckler and Koch.
So, but yeah, if a Democrat were to do that, like, and just maybe they could pick off like a Nebraska or a Kentucky or maybe a Georgia, right? Georgia's a little tinted. It's a little purple right now, right? You know, if the Democratic front runner did that, he might get enough people coming over where they say, yeah, you know, I was never hell bent on that pro-life anything. It was really about the guns. Because
Isn't it annoying seeing those really unpopular stances they just won't let go of? Like
Yeah,
on
that's
the
why we
right
need
wing.
more than 2 parties. It's so annoying because you have to go A or B. How many kinds of M&Ms are there?
Oh,
But we've got 2 kinds of politicians.
I hear
That's
you.
true.
So I don't know. I want to know how other countries do it because other countries do have more than 2 parties. But here's my fear. You get like Democrats and Republicans controlling, we'll say 97.5% combined. You know, they're both 45%. I think I'm doing it right.
Mhm.
And then you get another party with 5%. And that guy is just as powerful. Any 2 of those 3 become a voting majority.
Yeah, but they would go different ways on different issues, I think. Like right now, it's like, all right, well, Congress is Republican, so everything's going to go that way. But whereas if you had like 45-45-5, like or 10, like you're describing, like, all right, well, they went this way on gun control because that's what the Green Party thinks about it. They went that way on birth control, though, because that's what they think about that. It's, you know, if you could just get a mixture of both parties, because I don't like either party.
Well, it depends on the paradigm you're in, because like when you see those European elections, there are sometimes parties that have like a plurality of the vote, but they don't tend to have one party with the giant majority. And so what you'll see over there are a lot of coalitions being formed. Like, oh, this party and this party are uniting because it's serviceable to both of them to get a majority in parliament or whatever.
But yeah, I just worry that some 47.5 and 5, like those 5% become our rulers. They get to choose which of the other 2 wins.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I don't know.
Honestly,
or maybe
At
honestly,
least in this country, because we don't have what European countries have, where it's like, ooh, this party is at 30, this party's at 28, this party's at 17, this party's at 15. Like we
I
just
don't know
have
about this whole
Republican,
democracy thing.
45, Democrat, 45, other ones, whatever.
just King Trump, you think, Kyle?
I would like some sort of empress or an emperor.
Ooh, King Ivana.
I want to go back to kings.
I want to go back to kings or even emperors. I would prefer emperors.
Emperor
that
is
just has
better.
a real ring to it.
I'm
you
mixed
know?
up on the difference, quite frankly.
A king lives in a castle.
I'm not sure if emperors
English-
pass on along the bloodline, whereas royalty, you definitely have like with a traditional monarchy, you've certainly got like that lineage of responsibility going on.
Kind of do that anyway.
Yeah, we kind of do that anyway. That's the problem. I don't think everybody should be
all
able
these countries with kings and queens. Meanwhile, we've got
Yeah.
same handful of families.
Bush, Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Clinton, Bush, Clinton.
We had
Just
a
over
Bush
and
or
over.
a Clinton on the ballot for something like 16 out of 20 years or like some outrageous thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, and
man.
behind closed doors, they're like, "Oh, you like."
Because like,
you.
I don't think all of us should be able to vote. I mean, clearly there's some people that don't think I should be able to vote because they got their way. I don't think everybody's vote should count. I certainly don't think everybody's vote should count the same. I just don't. Like
Agreed.
There should be a qualification test.
Get rid of that 19th. Just get rid of it.
It's dumb. It's dumb. Like that one doesn't make any sense to me.
Exactly.
I think it made sense in a time when
I don't know what that
I think
is.
it made a lot of sense in a time when like the voting populace was a bunch of like dudes who were like really plugged into it.
The 19th is when women got the right to vote. Just
Oh, thanks.
Oh, the 19th. Oh shit.
see, yeah, now it's making a lot more sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even like consider. I didn't even think about what the 19th even was. When did they give black people the vote?
But they gave black men the right to vote before white women, and then it was white women in what 1920, 1919.
Well, that's a good one. We should keep that one for sure. But I just don't think everyone should be able to vote. I think there should be a qualification test. There should probably only be like 100,000 people qualified enough to vote in this country.
There should be a firearm accuracy test.
Kyle's gonna regain his right to vote.
Actually,
Do you guys say more?
Here we are at the 1,000 meter long range shooting competition. So far, we have one contestant who has hit the target, and he will be deciding all the electoral votes for Virginia.
Him, the first man to regain his voting right because of precision firing. Like,
You see him, he looks like Bill Dotrieve. He's just like, well, I don't know too much about politicking, but I like that Montgomery fella. I'm gonna vote for him.
Kyle's gonna
That's
do
right.
that cool thing.
Virginia goes to Montgomery, the white supremacist, not even from Virginia.
it was my decision, and I made it. And I just picked the guy who was best with the gun. It's like,
I like a shaved head and tattoos too, just like me. Yeah, I don't think we should all be voting.
and
Man.
I thought it meant that he used to be a fireman. Turned out some German shit, but it was a similar shape to the fireman tattoo. So
I didn't learn until the past couple years that representation is also based on illegal immigrants. Like, you know how the census needs to count everyone who lives there, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, hypothetically, right, Woody State was half illegal immigrants. Then we get the amount of like representatives that includes them. Am I saying this clearly? Oh, I thought you were asking a question. And maybe I low key knew that, but Trump made it an issue, and he kind of was trying not to count illegal immigrants. And I was like, is my team on the right side here?
in the census, you mean? Well, they should definitely count them in the census so you know how many illegals are in the country.
Sure.
But you shouldn't be giving points to states based on their illegal population. That's
kind of where my head is. Someone's going to
Maybe
have to
take 'em
convince
away.
me. Like every so often, I hope you guys do this too. You look at your party and you say, "Are we the baddies?" And in this case, yeah, I think Democrats might be the baddies. I don't know. Someone's going to have to explain to me why it's good for illegal immigrants to get this much representation. I could go the other way. I can go the other way and say Republicans and their voter suppression tactics, like that's the baddies too. One of the big
the most recent one where I was like, "Are we the baddies?" Not that I really am. I'm definitely not a Republican, but I do identify with conservatives on quite a few issues, it seems. But when I was reading about like the forced hysterectomies in the prison camps,
Right.
I was like, "Well, did they need them?"
yeah.
Is that real? So we're not like giving people Advil on the border, but we're performing incredibly expensive, invasive operations. Really?
You just need a shop vac and some Tylenol.
I
don't
hear
think
your
that's-
doubt. I don't know. It was reported everywhere. And then like the World Health Organization declared it as something like a genocide. Or
Genocide.
something. Apparently, if you take away a lot of people's, like more than 1,000 people's fertility, it's technically a genocide.
It's technically a genocide.
And I'm like, oh, are we the baddies? Are we the baddies?
I have a hard time believing that they're just giving. They have a bunch of surgeons down there giving hysterectomies to.
I don't know that anyone said it's not true. Like the Trump administration didn't come out and
drop off as far as coverage.
Because I feel like the Republicans are like, you're goddamn right.
That is a thing that is on brand, right? Because with separating kids from their parents, right? I think that they did that as a disincentive. I'm not sure I'm using the right term. Something, to discourage the illegal immigrants from coming across the border.
And also, you can't take children with adults.
Right.
Human trafficking is a huge problem with people smuggling kids who aren't theirs over the border.
It's like, look, if you get pulled over for DUI and you get your kid in the car, they're going to take you and the kid, and they are both going to be detained somewhere. But they are not going to throw the kid into the drunk tank with you. I don't see the difference.
Well, they don't.
Right. But I think they're so. I don't know if the difference is in the enforcement or the branding of the enforcement, right? Because those cages were built under Obama, right? And Obama was like, hey, sometimes these kids are coming over with no parents or with people, like you said, that aren't their parents. Maybe they're coyotes and even have their best interest in mind.
Yeah.
And we can't just take these children and throw them in with the grown-ups. They become victims. That's why we separated them like that. But Trump, I don't know if it's in the enforcement that's different or the branding for sure. But he's definitely like, hey, if you come across, we're taking your kids away. Suck a dick. And
we also take the children's toys. That's the best part.
Yeah.
They come in. They're crappy toys. And the first thing I told them, make sure you take the children's toys away from them. That gets them right to the heart because they love those toys. They have emotional value.
These are terrible toys. It's that cup in throwing the ball into the cup thing. What
These are shithole toys.
we're gonna give all these old Game Boy Colors to them. It's brilliant.
We're fueling the entire genocide facility in Texas with the burning of Mexican children's toys.
We're a serious country, and so the argument should obviously be how many resources and money to give to the people sneaking into our country, not how to reprimand them or send them back. Because we're serious. We're a serious country who argues about how many resources to give to people who sneak in. That's what serious countries do. They just invite people in and they say, here's money.
New York Times calling Florida and Georgia for Trump.
Okay.
God damn it. All right. Well, I won Florida, but I lost Georgia there. So that evens out. It looks like, though, North Carolina is tilting towards Biden. And I think I had North Carolina. Yeah, I had that on Biden. So we'll see.
So there's like a bunch of coin flips. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and that might be it. And then there's Pennsylvania, which isn't so much
Rust Belt. Yeah.
Pennsylvania is not really a coin flip. That one's, I think, 5.5, 6 points towards Biden. So
yeah,
that's the toughest one for Trump to flip. Like Kyle said, that fracking thing in the debate was a bit of a mistake. We'll see how it goes.
That was my biggest upset, is calling Pennsylvania for Trump. Or I guess not really, because I called Georgia for Biden, but that might be wrong. I just wanted to get one upset right. Fuck. What if I get both of them wrong?
I don't know. We'll see. I was secretly hoping that Georgia would go to Biden. I'm sorry. I meant to say Pennsylvania would go to Biden. I meant to say Florida. We should stop.
all these states getting jumbled.
I was secretly hoping Florida would go to Biden, and then that would just end it. We'd all know who the next
that'd be
president
done.
was.
If you won Florida, that'd probably be all she wrote.
Well, we'll know tomorrow, hopefully. Or maybe there's a lawsuit pending.
It's gonna take way longer than that,
crazy. The Trump train is running wild. It is untethered. All right. I saw Woody crying his lib tears the other night on
the only way Donald Trump gets to 270 is if he loses
Charlie,
50 pounds.
Charlie Day in It's Always Sunny trying to figure out where Pepe Silvia was, just connecting dots and fucking yarn.
Little Pepe.
Yeah.
But before we get into anything, this episode we have Filthy on, wonderful guest Filthy, and it's brought to you by Blue Chew and Squarespace. But
Yes.
yeah, high energy start, Kyle. That caffeine pill you took definitely.
Oh, it's kicking in right about now.
Wait, how many milligrams? No,
They're 200 milligrams each. So I only took the one, but I have taken 4 before, and that's crazy town.
That's awful, man.
Yeah. So everyone said Trump was going to get trounced. We all here, to be fair, thought Trump was going to get trounced. Look, at this point, we have to all agree, regardless of our political standings or who we think should win.
Don't even say it was funny. Is that where you're headed?
Well, first of all, yes, it is funny, but that's not at all where
funny.
I'm going.
It wasn't funny.
First of all, it's funny.
It's not
but
funny.
That's not where I'm going.
It wasn't funny.
What are we talking
That's
about?
not the topic of discussion. The topic of discussion is that polls, again, seem to have been wrong, like way off.
In the
way
same
off.
direction.
Like, in the same exact direction. And I'm left with only one logical explanation, and that is there are a lot of people who like Donald Trump, clearly, but they are embarrassed, ashamed, or afraid to admit to a pollster that, yes, I do like Donald Trump and I'm going to vote for him. If that were not the case, we would not be where we are right now, where they're still counting votes.
The entire premise is pretty wrong in the first place. Assuming that Pennsylvania and Georgia do go Biden, which is a bit of a leap, I hear you, but they are predicted to go that way. Then they got 49 of the 51 states right in their final prediction. And the reason that they chose Biden was that he could suffer a Hillary Clinton-like, I don't know, mistake in the polls and still win, which he has.
You are the only one on the planet who has this opinion. Even like the people on CNN are like,
super smart though.
The people on CNN are like, we were wrong. And it's disturbing how close this is. Van Jones is like, it's hurtful.
It's
That-
over.
that-
Van Jones is always hurt. He and Don Lemon is fucking crying all the
Well, his
time.
heart is
Can you
fucking
imagine being
shattered.
personally upset by polls?
No, it is a little disturbing.
Don't they know I look at these?
Yeah, so like Nate Silver, I guess maybe it was the 2 Obama races where I think he literally got 100 out of 100 states right, or 102.
Guy's an idiot. Had the Blues down and out.
If you count DC, like he got 102 states right in a row presidentially. And everyone was like, well, shucks, this guy knows the outcome before it happens. And they did a podcast today, which I didn't watch, I actually read about. And they have a leader of the podcast that's not Nate Silver. And he's like, Twitter's going to beat me up if I don't ask you, why were the polls so wrong? And he's like, oh, well, I have a message for Twitter. Fuck you. We did a great job. We got 49 out of 51 states right. The polls had a bias, but we interpreted the data perfectly. We don't collect the data. That was his message. I don't know.
Get their data?
I don't have no issue with the people who read polls. I'm talking about polls, right?
No,
I'm a person who reads and interprets polls. We all are. I'm talking about polls. I don't care about Nate Silva or whatever his name is. Probably.
The problem is the shy
It's
Trump
too early
voters.
in the show to go.
If
this
only
racist.
the Trump voters had a few more flags on their truck, then they would have tipped it over. If
Yeah,
they
I don't
advertised
buy
a little better.
I don't buy the explanation you were giving, Kyle. I would say it's probably that this methodology for polling they're using it's probably bad. It's probably bad data, and they're not getting the right people filling it out.
It is. Here's
Like,
my
it's not
theory.
as good as it could be.
Let me
I wonder about that though, because this seems to be like this has got to be one of the most like the highest tiers of polling like people, right? Like this has got to be one of the biggest things that people use this for. This has got a huge impact, a huge outcome associated with it. So this is probably the best of the best for the polling industry going on here.
It has to be in the polling interpretation. And here's what I mean by that. Like, let's say that I do a poll of 500 people. And the people I get are 300 women, 200 men. You might think that I just report, this is the results I got, but it's not. Instead, I take the women I talk to and I devalue them to make it more 50-50. And I take the men I talk to and I extra value them to make it more 50-50, because we know on election day, that's what we expect. Roughly the same amount of men and women voting, which is true-ish. So if you follow me, we interview the people, and then our sample wasn't perfect. We adjust the sample to make it more perfect. I think that adjusting the sample to make it more perfect is where the mistake is. They underestimate that, say, working class white men are actually going to get to the polls in a very reliable way that wasn't true in previous elections, right? Or in the case of Obama, they underestimated how well he would do. And I think that maybe that happened with the black vote.
What?
What?
do you know when in the process that's applied? Because if you said, like this guy you're talking about was saying like, hey, it's not our fault, it's the data that's bad. So is the
prior to
the testing of the data happening prior to reporting to pollsters?
To reporting to
so the people who are essentially doing these polls are not the people doing the data collection, and they're instead people like, hey, we're making these predictions based on bad data.
The people who collect the data will then massage the data and say this is the results of our poll. Right. So if I was to go extreme and said, hey, everyone we interviewed was black except one guy, but we expect the turnout to be 80-20 white, then that one guy's opinion holds a ton of weight. Right. That's obviously a bad sample, but work with me. So I think what happened is they underestimated who was actually going to show up on voting day when they took the raw poll data and converted it. And then you have Nate Silver, who didn't do any of that. He just takes the polls and averages them and such.
I'm sorry, I'm having a problem. You're like, see, the polls went wrong. That what they did was they didn't guess who was going to come and vote and how they were going to vote.
They fucked that up. To me like, so they fucked it up in the other direction when it was Obama. They underestimated how many black people were actually going to get to the polls because they had enthusiasm. I think in the Trump situation, the opposite happened. They were like, they didn't realize every single gosh darn like white working male would actually make it to the thing. So I'm not saying the polls are wrong. The polls underestimated Trump this time. They underestimated Obama in previous elections. They were more or less right in 2018. They were wrong. I don't know. But
your job is to collect data and give the best representation as wide an audience as possible from that data. And you got to make sure the methodology you're doing actually does that. It's no good to say, well, we probably messed up part of it along the way. No shit. We can see the results. It was clearly not predicted what's happening and what.
And I don't know about getting 49 out of 50 states right, because like they're still counting votes, and like it's like within 3,000, 4,000 votes in places. Like that's so close. It's I mean, we're talking about like margin of error almost at this point.
My big upset pick, if we remember, was Georgia.
You might be right.
I might win.
Yeah,
you might. It's very close. It's like. It's 3 or 4,000
I don't have anything
votes.
writing on it, so it's not very exciting.
But we should have gotten Mitty on here to eat his asparagus while we watched and laughed.
Yeah,
I had a bet with one of my friends that if Trump was even within 100 electoral votes, he had to eat a can of asparagus and drink all the juice, and that's coming. I'm going to get to watch it one way or another. He sent me a text like earlier today. He's like, I got it. Fucking.
He was in my stream last night when he went out. He's like, "What are you they're gonna hop off right now? I gotta go buy the asparagus." but yeah. Anyway, so before Nate Silver interprets all these collections of polls. That's his deal, and he feels like my math was right, but his data was wrong, which is a bit of a cop out. I'll admit,
Yeah, but I feel like the math is easy.
What's his profession?
Yeah.
What does he do? I don't know this guy.
Like, you don't know Nate Silver? He runs 538, and basically it used to be you'd look at a poll. And you'd say, all right, these are the results. What he does is he assembles all the polls and he basically does a poll of polls. And it gives you like a simple way to see what, I don't know, all the pollsters combined are saying, or all the pollsters averaged are saying.
It's still not over yet. Everybody's like, well, Biden's going to have all these votes, and so he'll win. It's not over yet. Trump is still in the White House. And in the chair until January.
It's looking like he's going to lose.
That lady's saying, baby.
It's looking like he might have technically lost, but Trump doesn't really take losing well.
Yeah, that explains his weight.
It's not true. I'm the best loser.
Thursday night. Any of you guys were watching the presidential address right before this?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, not right before this. No.
Yeah, right before this.
What did he say? What happened right before this?
He just came on and started talking, and he kind of what we expect from him to say. Said he was winning. They were winning in all these states by large margins, and the more of the mail-in ballots keep showing up, and they keep going entirely the other direction. He doesn't understand why this would be real, and he doesn't understand why he's not allowed to watch all the individual voting processes happen, and thinks the whole thing is a bunch of bullshit, essentially.
Oh, well, he should call me because I'll explain it to his dumb fucking ass. The reason that his voters didn't use mail-in voting is because he told them not to use mail-in voting for the last 3 to 6 months.
Such anger.
And I'll say that the Trump voters are the angry ones.
Also, the Democrat voters are more likely to take this whole COVID thing more seriously, and they voted by mail instead of in person.
It's
Yeah,
they did a poll.
So why
for
They did a
what-
poll.
They did a
On this
poll,
again.
and
Don't trust that
we all
fake
know
news.
those are right.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the most important voting issue for Democratic voters was racial inequality by far.
I would have guessed it was healthcare, but okay.
That
I
was
only
like third.
participate in Twitter polls, but I have never not picked the option that I know the author wants to win. Like if it's like some conservative being like, what do you hate more, capitalism or communism? It's like capitalism. Like whatever is the one they don't want to be answered. Like, I love
You
that
just try to ruin the poll.
You just make them
You
mad.
just try and ruin the poll. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get like PragerU with
Yeah, so
losing badly.
the polls this time were wrong in all reality, and they were shifted against Trump, right? Trump outperformed the polls. That's true. But even within the margin of error, we'll see how wrong it was, because it may
And
just
I think
be
it's very
two
clear
states.
that without COVID, Trump not only wins but crushes.
I think so too. I think his handling of COVID was really bad. I'll say another thing. I think in the second debate, Biden fouled up by saying he was against fracking, and he would have done better in Pennsylvania. Trump got him to say that, and then he like put an exclamation point on it by going, "That's huge. Did you hear that? That's huge. You just lost Pennsylvania," or something close to that.
Yeah.
And it's like it was an effective moment in the debate.
You don't
Yeah.
think Trump found
It-
something else to fuck up this year?
What?
Pardon?
You don't think Trump could have found something besides COVID to fuck up this year?
No,
Well, it's possible.
not like this.
I mean,
Look,
COVID's the biggest
not like
thing
this.
to have ever happened in a lot of people's. Like everybody's been living at home 80% more than usual for the last
I mean, he went the first 3 years,
year.
and everybody was fine with. I mean, I'm sure that many of us consider some of the things he did in the first 3 years before COVID to be big fuck ups, but
Anyone can remember anything.
not everyone did.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone
Like
did.
It was pre-COVID. Nobody
it
remembers.
was all regular down low stuff, right? Like pretending you ended the North Korea nuclear program when you
He
really
toned it
didn't.
down.
No, he didn't.
They're not. They haven't launched a missile in a while.
That's not even true.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know
when was
what
the last missile.
They-
It's been like 9 months.
What happened was they had their facility, like they blew it up by accident, and there was a gap of launching missiles for like 9 or 10 months or something like that. And everyone's like, they haven't launched a missile in a long time, and then they got right back at it.
June was the last one.
June, okay, so it's what, 5 months?
Yeah, victory.
Yeah, but like so pretending that he ended North Korea's nuclear program when he really didn't, that kind of shit I don't think loses him an election. That's just like standard grade Trumperism type shit. I think a lot of Americans dying, millions and millions of Americans getting sick. That's
You know what it was?
kids going to homeschool.
I don't think it's any of that.
Okay.
I think I think the problem is that he killed 200,000 people, and a lot of them were his voters. I think
That's true. Those retirement homes would have been clutch.
Yes, I think he accidentally killed 200,000 Americans, and like 30,000 of them were Trump votes, and that's all it would take to swing this election right now is 30,000 well-placed votes.
Or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
less.
we don't know how, if it's something like that. Yeah. He's only winning by math 12,000 in Nevada right now. If PANC and GA all go, like, don't swing to Biden, then it's 12,000 votes. That's what it would have taken to switch it.
Yeah. All I know is super close. He's made it much closer than
any of us
anyone seemingly thought it would be, other than like right-wing conservative talk show hosts like Rush Limbaugh is like, well, I told you this is what it was going to be, America.
Well, Rush
look, we
Limbaugh's
haven't
not
lost,
going to
and
get
we're
it
not gonna
right
lose.
next time. Rush Limbaugh will have no
Hey,
opinion
no.
on
I guarantee his next election.
He'll make
pick
no
won't,
mistakes.
He will
won't be
probably
made.
be. Oh wait, doesn't he have cancer or something?
Yes,
He's dying
that's
of
the-
lung cancer.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh.
That's the joke.
His goose is cooked.
For a second, I thought it was an old fat guy joke, and I was like, but he's not that. Oh, the cancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yes.
terminal lung cancer that he has.
The election isn't over. There's going to be a bunch of suing, a bunch of song and dancing all the way through the next
Yeah,
couple months. I assume.
It's
pretty
so
ridiculous.
over. There's no
I
proof.
think he's going to win. I'm
William
saying,
Barr
they
let
have-
his investigators look into the allegations, and like the postal worker that said the ballots were like backdated or something, he just came out and he's like, I made that up.
So here's the
sorry.
thing. There's absolutely was voter fraud. There's always voter fraud in every election at every level.
Mhm.
But But Trump lost Michigan by like 130,000 votes. There wasn't 130,000 votes of voter fraud.
Yeah,
He lost Georgia by like 10 or 12,000. There probably wasn't 10 or 12,000 votes of voter fraud. It doesn't matter if there. My guess, like 0.1% of the total vote was voter fraud, right? And that's probably generous. Like there's probably several thousand votes across the country that were fraudulent, but like all the videos I've seen are just fake or misunderstood. They're like, no, that's them going back and like fixing the Scantron votes, or no, those are like test ballots that someone just got to troll people. It's
one
all
of them
those
was
videos
literally
are fake.
Russia. There's a
one of them was
in
the
Russia.
stuffing of the ballot box. Yeah.
Those ones aren't very convincing. It's like, hey, I'm Steve and I'm here at the local UPS, and it's like, well, Steve, come on now. Like
that looks like a target.
I have seen there's some interesting stuff about like total voter turnout being higher than ever by like standard deviation levels. Like,
but doesn't that seem real to you?
Have you seen the new thing, the newest conspiracy theory?
Trump got more votes than Reagan.
See, that's what's confusing. Is like, and like a couple of the turnouts, I think it was Pennsylvania. It's like over 70%. Like that's never happened ever. Nothing even close. Maybe it's a different state I'm thinking of. I'll have to look again.
There was one. It wasn't. I want to say it was Michigan or Minnesota or Wisconsin. Like one of those had a really high turnout rate. But I don't know. Like I'm with Kyle. Like I'm sure there's some fraud. I don't know if that number's.
Do you know what hammer and scorecard is?
No.
So this is the newest theory that the far right nut jobs have come up with.
Okay.
Hammer and scorecard is a thing that CIA developed at some point to interfere with other people's elections. It's our way of hacking other countries' ballot boxes and influencing them.
Name 2 dozen times we've done that.
I mean, I don't have time, but have you heard of South America?
Yes.
So there you go.
All of it.
And so they are saying that the CIA used hammer and scorecard, which is our hacking voter manipulation technique, to influence the ballots. And I listen to the conservative radio because that's the only radio there is. Like it's not like there's a left wing radio.
Nothing worth listening to. Well, like John Lovitz has some dumbass thing, but I'm with you in concept, right?
Yeah, like if you like piled all the right wing radio and all the on the right and the left wing media on the left, it would be 100 to 1 or something like that. It's just right wing media, talk radio is wildly popular. Left wing, just nobody seems to care. Anyway,
pretty huge.
I was listening to my local guy, and he's not a nut. Like I'll just say that. Like don't think Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity. Like this guy is like a fiscal conservative who is socially liberal and like has great common sense and is usually more focused on Senate races and stuff like that and things that he thinks are better for the people of Georgia. Anyway, he was just like, people, you gotta let it go. Trump lost. Hammer and scorecard? Well, so the CIA must have gone in and gotten those those what do they call it when the people are like they poll the people after they're leaving the ballot
exit poll.
They must have gone in and steamed open the exit polling envelopes and changed those two by hand so that they would match the hammer and scorecard manipulation that they were also employing. No, you people. And I can hear you screaming at me, even though I'm not taking your calls, you crazies. I'm not taking them.
That's
one of the arguments that worked for me was he's like, oh, okay, so the Democrats have been stuffing the ballots, right? But they chose to lose 4 House seats and not take over the Senate.
That is weird. Why were there so many ballots just picking Biden instead of people who voted for that and the...
No, I'm saying that violates your theory, like not your theory, but the theory, right?
The
like
hammer and
they would have not split the ticket if they were stuffing fake ballots in there, right?
But Taylor's got a bit of a point. Like it is interesting that
is there a precedent for this of this many people voting just for the top of the ticket.
Yeah, maybe
that happened.
Maybe
I mean, because it did happen. They'll show a difference, and it's like Biden, clearly tens of thousands of people apparently voted just for Biden and not anything down on the ballot at all.
Yeah, they must have gone Biden and nothing else.
I wonder what's normal.
explanation for it because it doesn't seem to be normal. I saw something about
Yeah,
like
I don't know what's
it's
normal.
really disparate. Like it's very rare to get 50,000 people that all
Sometimes when I'm voting for like the Wake County Secretary of Agriculture, I'm like, I don't really know which one of these guys is well, this one's a woman. She probably sucks at farming, so
I was about to fill that in.
I wouldn't pick a woman farmer. I wouldn't pick a woman. I mean, how can you? How can you, in good conscience, pick a woman farmer?
Do you think we'll know the president next show? The election's Tuesday.
Yeah,
The
we're gonna
show's
know.
Thursday.
Yeah.
I think we'll know in 2 days.
There-
Did we know last time in 2 days?
No,
I don't
believe so.
remember, but
They
here's-
better. That's so fucking ridiculous to not have it same day. That's
I think
that's
it's
so insane.
There are laws that prevent it. And I see it both ways. Like with not the mail-in ballots, they're not allowed to count them in advance. And I can imagine maybe that's intelligence you don't want to even exist, right? Like, how the vote's going so far while the voting's still happening. And I can also be like, yeah, but now we're fucked. Now it's nearly impossible for those votes to get counted on time.
Yeah, like we did this for most of our country's history, where like with lower technology, where like they knew by the end of the night who won. There's exceptions like
I don't think they
2000
used to be
where
this
there's a
tight.
huge amount of
races are tighter than they ever were.
Yeah,
nonsense
they weren't this tight before. We used to know weeks in advance, like who was obviously going to win.
Yeah,
So
they
I
should
think it goes
that's
two
just crazy to be like, oh, we might not know until 5 days later. It's like, well, that's fucking ridiculous. Get it together. Get it done by that night.
I think we're going to know right away. I think there's two outcomes that I foresee.
Okay.
as
Well, no
possibilities.
shit.
I no, but
Wait a minute. I also see two outcomes.
No, hold on, Woody. He's got this on lock. Let's sit our asses down and listen.
so I just think the only way Kamala wins is if women show up really disproportionately and vote for her. I think that's the only way. Because the polls say she's behind in every single swing state, at least the average of all the polls. There's a couple of outliers, and I keep seeing stuff that he's winning the popular vote somehow. So it seems like it's a Trump slam dunk. So either it is what it looks like, and it's the Trump slam dunk, and right away we're like calling Pennsylvania, for example. Like he wins Pennsylvania, like 56% of Pennsylvania. That's not what's going to happen. But like if he does something like that, we know right away. But if the women show up and right away the swing states are out of play and we're seeing like Georgia swinging back the wrong way, North Carolina swinging back the wrong way, then we're just going to know. That's what it's going to take. Like if he loses North Carolina, like Jesus, the paths shrink
I
dramatically.
don't think he's going to lose North Carolina. I
don't
saw
either.
that the Democrats pulled a lot of advertising out of North Carolina, which is usually an admission that like, our money is not best served here anymore. Like the ROI is not there.
Leave this up for a bit. To me, this looks awfully realistic.
Really? Trump getting Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Georgia?
Yeah.
Every coin flip?
I looked at the polls
Nevada?
today. Maybe they're always changing, but I just saw him ahead everywhere. Just ahead
So
everywhere.
if let's say he loses Wisconsin and Michigan here, it looks like he still wins, right?
Yes. Yeah, he needs to lose the Wisconsin and Michigan have to go blue, and Kamala's winning in that. I don't know what this what Zach found here, but the polls that I see, I look at 538 and something else, and I see Kamala winning. He's moving it around 270 to win. He's winning the two Great Lakes stakes, but Pennsylvania is super tight. Trump is winning. I see with like a 52% chance of winning. And then a little better, like closer to 60 in North Carolina and Georgia. And I don't see anyone saying Trump's winning Nevada. So this isn't in line with the polls.
He's going
that
to
I'm
rock
seeing.
the whole Sun Belt. He's going right through Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. He's going to clean them up, Woody. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be rough. We're going to know.
You might be right. And you might be
Very soon.
$100 richer, Kyle.
Where are you
exciting.
seeing this 270 to win thing? Because
300.
I went to 270 to win, and it just takes every close state and calls it a toss-up and doesn't make any predictions.
I have
It's
no
their
idea. I don't.
Simulator. I
do
mean, I'm
not
on there
follow
too.
this shit. The polls.
I used to look at 270 to win, and it frustrated me because at least on my screen, it doesn't make any calls.
This is the toss-up states: Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, all too close to call. I'm like, what the fuck is that? That's just not telling me anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, I saw Trump up like 2 to 5% in Georgia.
Yeah, I think he's looking good in Georgia and Pennsylvania right now, and North Carolina. Or at least that's what I saw
about a
North
week
Carolina.
ago, and it's been tightening in the last 5 days. I don't know how long it's been, but it's hard to tell. Also, all these polls are a look like 10 to 14 days in the past, and what do you make of that? If it's
I like that Trump's doing like little viral clips and shit in the closing days, and Kamala's kind of doing the same thing. I mean, she's doing her job, but like I think Trump and Vance doing Rogan, getting probably I don't know how many millions of views it's at now. And then I genuinely liked his garbage man stunt, and I think that I think if you win the meme war, you might win the presidency.
This is the kind of poll that I hate to see. Like, it basically takes every interesting race and calls it too close to call. Everything's purple. It's like, all right, so
yeah, it's like I fucking could have made this. Like
exactly.
this isn't helpful. Yeah, have some balls, switch it around,
and
boom.
Yeah. I'm not completely sure that Zach isn't showing us things that he clicked and manipulated himself.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how 270 to win works on my computer.
Yeah,
where you can just kind of.
Regardless, though, like it's we're not going to get to the bottom of anything from the polls. We're going to find out next Tuesday, and it's going to be fucking fun to watch. I really hope that we know right away, and that it's a landslide one way or the other. I don't even care who wins. I'm afraid of both of them. I'm genuinely afraid of both of them.
You don't want Trump in?
I'm genuinely afraid of both of them and their policies, Taylor. I worry that maybe
I don't like the free speech I hear from Harrison Walls at all.
I worry she'll be over her head in international affairs, and I worry that he'll maybe have some trials and put Nancy Pelosi on a guillotine or something crazy. Like I worry that he might go. I don't know. I don't know what
2016, even after he won, he's like, "We're not doing anything with Hillary. It'd be bad for the country."
Yeah, but that was before the last year that
he
they
tried to do it.
And
his attorney general refused to follow through.
You know, they're delaying his sentencing till after in New York, all the New York shit that he was found guilty on, those 40 felonies or whatever, until after this election. It behooves him to cement his safety going forward, rather than just hoping on a 4-year time period. Like what if they sentence him to like 5 years of prison after his presidential term? Do you think he's leaving? Do you think he's leaving?
He's leaving last time. He's too old to serve.
I don't know how long he's going to live.
They're not going to throw an 84-year or what would he be? 70 or 83, right? By the end of it.
82.
I thought he's
72. Oh, he's pardoned by Vance.
He's 78. I thought
can he just pardon himself, would he?
Yes. I think he's a little untested, but I think he can pardon himself.
What a funny system.
Yeah.
You can just pardon. I bet he pardons Hunter Biden.
Oh, but I don't think he can pardon himself on state level.
That
becomes a tricky thing.
That'd be nice of him. Well, I'm sure Biden's going to pardon Hunter Biden, right? If he
doesn't, says he won't.
That'd be a big boy move if Donald pardoned him. I feel like
I could see that happening.
That'd win a lot of hearts and minds.
You could see Donald Trump pardoning Hunter.
No, I could not see it. But if
it's politically advantageous, like if it makes him look better in his mind, he'll do it. That's what he does. He does for like everything operating. He wants to look good. And so if like that's the way the tide's turning, I wouldn't put it past him.
I haven't seen Trump turn the other cheek. I haven't seen him, anytime the other team takes a shot at Trump, he never is like, you know what, let's be friends. Nope.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't. If he gets in, I hope he does go after a lot of the people who have been pulling this bullshit for a long time.
Like Hunter.
Like a tribunal, a military tribunal.
Ooh, a tribunal? A triumvirate? Yeah. We get 3 presidents now?
No.
We get Trump and Barron.
No, he's going to hold hearings.
And a wild card, a random citizen.
He's going to have those Saddam Hussein style hearings. Where he's just going to call forward people and he's going to pass judgment on them.
Yeah. I really dislike just how open both Harris and Walls have been with like, yeah, I mean, free speech doesn't protect hate speech and misinformation, and that needs to be shut down. It's like, no. No, that's not how free speech works. Free speech isn't there to protect people being like, go Ravens. It's to protect actually, controversial speech.
Well, I don't want to protect
the idea
Russian
that you can just
Russian bots,
the idea you can just let one political party or a bunch of rich oligarchs in big tech decide what is and isn't allowed to be said by the American public on the public square, which is Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of these
I
things.
hear where you're coming from, but
that's
it's
so
so
wrong.
difficult to get this right? Because at some point, telling people vaccines are bad and creating a movement that gets people to stop taking them, and not just the COVID one. I know that one's newer, but vaccines in general. RFK says they cause autism, and the world should stop taking vaccines. But we know they do a lot more good than harm. And if you spread information like RFK does, it is more destructive than yelling fire in a theater. It's a
Why
problem.
can't he
On the other
make
hand,
his voice
well,
heard?
I have more to say. On the other hand, to your point, like it is really difficult to figure out what's right and what's wrong. I remember about the masks, right? At first, you don't need masks. Then any mask will do. Then cloth masks are no good. And that changed. And you could get banned from Twitter by saying that it came from a lab in Wuhan instead of the bat market or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were doing that in good faith. And then it turns out they were working on perhaps wrong information. And if you censor people for saying shit that's not true, that could later turn out to be true, then you've done a terrible thing. So it is hard to censor, and if you want people to be right and not hurt other people, but you don't know for sure what's right, it puts you in a spot where you get shit wrong and it becomes a bad thing.
For me, it's very easy. Like, when in doubt, don't censor people. Like, if you're directly calling to harm someone or being like, go to this person's house and drag him out of like, we all know can't do that shit. But the idea that like RFK can't go talk about the fucking his whatever platelet spinning shit he thinks Americans should do to be jacked, or if he like has a problem with some vaccines,
I feel like
he should be able to say what he believes.
And all it's going to do, mostly agree. It's just I'm trying to say it's really hard to draw that line and get it right all the time. It's like any community kind of notes fixes this, right?
If you give them that credence, that leeway to do it, like we know the side that wants to censor misinformation, like they censored the mask stuff. They censored lots of stuff over the past few years that ended up being correct. And like, I don't give them all the faith of like, oh, they just got the information wrong. Like, no, they at some point knew the Hunter Biden laptop was real. Those intelligence agents knew that, and they lied, and it was said as misinformation. And so like, no matter who's in charge, whether it's Harris or Trump or whatever, like, I don't want that person to be able to go, oh, this thing that reflects poorly on me and my friends and my little enclave here, my donors, my big spenders. No, that's misinformation, actually. And questioning it loses you your YouTube channel. How do you like that? Loses you your Twitter account, your Facebook. Like, it's sinister, and it's always overused. Like, it never stops on one little thing. Like, they want more control over our speech online. And that's a huge threat, because that's all we have online now is speech here for the most part. Like, that's why like Elon buying Twitter was a great thing. Like, actually having a more uncensored, and he still censors plenty of stuff. There's still stuff censored on there.
He still censors stuff he doesn't like. And Twitter may have been somewhat political back in 2015, but what it is now is off the fucking charts. The owner of Twitter is literally going to Trump rallies and promoting Trump.
Yeah, the owner of Facebook, literally $400 million.
He's giving millions of dollars to people to vote in the way that he wants them.
More or less.
This is so far beyond the pale
more or less
of what
money
you didn't like about 2015 and 2016.
Hold on,
what
he
he's
giving
doing
more
now is fucking insane.
You had no problem with Mark Zuckerberg doing this.
A media company and is taking his bias and putting it out there 100 times more than existed 4 years ago or
That's
8
not
years
true.
ago.
Facebook
and you
was
don't see
actively
not
covering
true.
up stories.
He's donating hundreds of millions of dollars to Trump's campaign. If Twitter had a bias before, it was subtle, and it was like a couple dick pics of the Hunter Biden. Now
they
it
covered
is
up information that was
wild.
hurtful to Democrats in an election season. It wasn't subtle.
This isn't subtle. What's happening now is so far beyond what has ever happened before. Fucking literally, Elon Musk is on stage at Trump's rallies promoting him, paying people millions of dollars to vote for Trump.
I don't remember you having an issue with this 4 years ago when Elon Musk.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I'm sorry, not Elon Musk.
That's what I'm saying to you. Like,
yeah,
4 years ago, I did have an issue with it, and I was a little like, it turns out they fucked that up, and I don't like it. But what they're doing now is so far beyond what they've done in the past. Now that Elon Musk, a Trump supporter, a future Trump cabinet member, they say, is owning Twitter.
I want to know wild. what is okay. So the owner of Facebook, a larger site than Twitter by all metrics, it was he put $400 million largely into Georgia in the get out the vote portion of the Democratic outreach program. Like, that's what he did. And he used his position at Facebook to delegitimize stories like the Hunter Biden thing, anything negative about Biden and the Democrats. And he got rid of those stories. They know this. It's confirmed. And so this idea that now that Elon Musk on Twitter is doing something similar, that now it's this crazy beyond the pale thing. It's like billionaires are in our politics for better or worse. And I think it's probably almost always worse.
For the worst, for
And
sure.
it's
But
like happening.
like what Zuckerberg did, if he donated, I didn't hear about him donating $400 million to the Democrats. That never got into my feed, but I can hear about Musk's, and it's happening right now, and it's also hundreds of millions of dollars. And
Musk
it's
is
not
wild
just
right now.
like subtle ads or whatever. Like, he's on the stage. He's jumping up trying to make an X in his dorky
Dude,
little.
they banned whole stories negative about Biden from
banned the
entire
word
platforms.
cis on X right now.
That's
Do you think that's as impactful?
I think it shows the bias. Like, what has happened to the conversations on X have shifted. Like, my red friends, the ones who like don't like to hear anything that they don't like to hear, are like, you have to go to Twitter to get the truth nowadays. Everything else is a lie, right? Because Twitter is a safe space for Republicans.
There's a ton of left-leaning people on Twitter.
Yeah, but I'm telling you,
it's a safe
Yeah,
space. for
it's more.
Republicans.
It's definitely more.
It's
It's
fair to
more
say.
right wing now for sure.
Yeah,
But that's also just like
by design.
Elon Musk taking his thumb off the scales, and now
Elon Musk put his thumb on this scale. Elon
the thumb was
Musk
on the
is
scales for
number
years. They
one
admitted this.
big guy. They changed the algorithm so that Elon Musk's tweets get special treatment above all else. And he retweets Republican talking points and Republican.
He's totally biased. Yeah.
And so he got upset when he wasn't the biggest tweeter on the planet. So they made him that algorithmically. That is finger on the scale. That is buying a publishing company and then pushing out your political message as the richest man the earth has ever seen. Bezos did the opposite. Bezos refused to endorse a candidate.
No, he refused to allow his newspaper to do the endorsement they wanted.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I should have said it that way. So the Washington, but Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and he's doing sort of the opposite of what Elon Musk did, in that he's just staying quiet about who Washington Post.
I think it's because he probably sees the writing on the wall and that a Trump win is very likely, and he wants to be seen in a more positive light by that administration, because he has been
I somewhat agree with you, but I see it a little differently. I think he sees that if Kamala wins, there will be no punishment for failing to endorse her. But if Trump wins, there will be a punishment for endorsing the wrong person. So he's just going to stay quiet because Kamala will forgive him and Trump won't.
Maybe. I mean, but they endorsed his opponent in every other race.
Man,
They stopped, right? Why does the Washington newspapers endorse people? Like, that's a thing that newspapers do.
Isn't that
But not the
insane?
Washington.
That we like you're supposed to read this stuff from the New York Times and be like, what a prestigious organization. Who'd they endorse? Oh, the same party every time. Every time for
Probably,
80. And so this our media is so corrupt. And I like more freedom of speech online, whether it's Elon giving it or Zuckerberg. He's not really known for doing that.
Or paid Russian disinformation activists,
if that's the cost,
Laura Loomer,
if that's the cost of like having
the Russians to spread lies about the Ukraine war, is that the free speech we're protecting?
I would err on the side of allowing that versus shutting down whatever the current ruling party sees as threatening, because that's all that heavy censorship is. It's not about protecting people. It's about the people in power at that moment having the ability to solidify their stance and their ideology by banning speech outside of it.
It is a problem when Russian pays American influencers $100,000 a video to spout Russian lies.
I agree. I don't like any foreign interference in our politics. That's why I've mentioned disliking AIPAC so much on this show. I don't like any of this foreign influence. America should be for Americans.
Three of us voted, Jackie, Colin, and I.
Nice.
And that was that.
Maybe I just had bad luck. But that doesn't seem to be the thing, because a lot of people here are saying there's long lines everywhere. It could just be that people are turning out in super high numbers for Trump because we're a really red state and nobody hears Stoke in the past 4 years.
So
it could be a combination.
So it's like I said the other day. I know it sounded foolish, but I was like, it's gonna be one of two outcomes.
Yeah,
but
whoa, Copernicus,
the bravery he put on.
But I guess what I was trying to say was that
if Trump wins, it's because, man, they turned out for him. It's because he won. He won white women again somehow. But if Harris wins,
No, he's won white women every time, just not all women.
that's what I just said.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm saying this time he might not. I'm wondering how big of an issue the abortion thing is, and it's just like I don't know if I believe any of the polling I ever see, but I just remember seeing so many women saw the Roe v. Wade thing is like a big reason to go vote. Like they were making fun of it. That was the meme. Was like, look, this is all they care about. There's like 80% of them saw it as the most
A
important.
lot of
issue.
good arguments in there. It's all
Well,
they care about.
you know, they've got the right to vote. So,
Damn.
so I was thinking if Harris is going to win, it means that women really turned out, which then sounds to me like a Harris landslide. Like sounds like a Harris like they're going to win some states they shouldn't have, or we didn't think they would. Maybe. I wonder how North Carolina and Virginia, how those states are going to go.
Virginia for sure. Right?
Virginia's usually been blue for a while. My little news ecosystem has turned around. So it's an insulting term, but the Democrats have been bedwetting this entire time. So they led for most of the race until most very recently. And even though they're like, I'll take 538, was giving Harris 54 times out of 100, the Democrats are scared and the Republicans are confident with the 46. It's just a different vibe. You know, Trump's telling, oh, we're way ahead in the polls. Don't believe all the polls that don't have me ahead. Only believe the polls that have me ahead. That was the Trump thing. The Democrats are like, oh, my God, this is way too close. I'm not comfortable. Until the last week, the Democrats have been like just snorting all that hopium, coming out with great news. The polls have swung in her direction barely. It's been tied the whole way. But they're filling me with this probably false confidence. Like Harris has this. We'll see. What'd you say?
It's coin flip. It's coin flip, man. And we could flip a coin right now, and it would be just as accurate as the most intelligent, well-informed
Nate Silver's final model. The most expensive coin flip model of all time. Like the absolute gall to be like, I'm the most professional pollster. I aggregate all of these and I weight them as I see fit within my proprietary aggregation system. Mm-hmm. And then like I saw for weeks, people are like, everybody's all up on Nate Silver. Just wait. The day of the election, he's going to say it's Harris 50.1% and Trump, 49.9. And it was like it was flipped the other way, but it was like within 0.8%. And it's like, what is even the point of following someone who's never
538 has the same thing but inverse. They have Harris winning 50 times out of 100 and Trump winning 49 times out of 100.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things. So I watch both liberal and conservative news, too much of it, and the liberal news is saying that the pollsters have been scared to take a stance. That they call it herding. They all just go together and come up with the same results. You know, the people say what they say, and then when they massage the data, they say toss up. They've been doing it the whole time, and they think that it's not the toss up the pollsters said it was. The pollsters just lack courage. I don't know.
No, I could see that. Like their entire identity rests on them being like having some predictive value in their equations and whatnot. If not, what are they doing here? And so like guessing it close to 50-50, it could be, it just happened that way, but it also could be like, these are pollsters whose primary goal, more than getting it correct, is ensuring that they're still relevant next time this comes around. Like it's their job. And so when you set it that close, 49-51 or whatever, you can, after the fact, be like, oh, my model was actually like 98% there. It's just I under weighted this group, and when I accurately weight this group with the hindsight being 20/20, suddenly my model makes more sense. And it's like, well, then of what use was your model?
I follow the most brilliant pollster on YouTube. He said, look, it's going to be one of two outcomes.
Yeah. And Kyle Myers.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would definitely guess.
The Stanley Cup's going to be one of 32 things this year.
It's got it.
It feels very Harris right now, like at this moment. And I haven't really touched the waters. I really messed my sleep schedule up like last night. So I slept through the afternoon today. It was one of those times where my phone was dead too. So I couldn't check what time it was when I woke up. So I got all the way downstairs to my stove before I realized I'd slept till 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
No, what made you say that it's looking really Harris to you? Because it is to me, but I always worry that my news feed is biased.
Well, I think timing. I know that timing is the most important thing, at least in our elections. Like if this election had taken place a few weeks back, I think it would have been such a slam dunk for Trump. And I think there's been times where it would have been a slam dunk for Harris. Even I think there were times where it would have been a slam dunk for Biden if we'd had the election on X day or Y day. Like a week after Trump got shot,
November 6th.
Like if we'd had the election the week after Trump got shot, like I think it would have been nuts. I think he would have really.
That was his highest moment. He wasn't shot, but that was his highest moment.
He did get shot though.
He didn't.
Not going to argue
the
that
videos come out since. The bullet didn't hit his ear. What hit his ear was the bodyguard's gun as he like hugged him and brought him down. You can look at the footage.
Just this
that's the thing now. Yeah,
I don't want to argue it.
That's just baffling. Like
and that's why there's no injury.
It
was just hit by the gun inside the holster.
Joe Rogan
friendly fire.
Show me your ear, and he's like, "Yeah, there's a little mark on there. There's a little scar."
Yeah, but he's saying the mark came from the bodyguard's pistol.
Yeah, I saw it. You could see it. Like I watched a YouTube video where they like replayed it, and they're like, "Right here, this is the impact where his ear got hit by the bodyguard as he like wrestled him down."
Yeah, I don't care anymore, and I don't care to argue it. But the election's happening tonight.
I like
and
saying
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I know you do.
That's just so pedantic. 2 people have tried to kill him, and you're like, "Well, they actually did."
It's three.
Is it 3 now?
Is it 3?
Yeah. They stopped the
I
third
don't
guy.
count the ones where they don't shoot.
Oh.
Like
well.
Trump tweeted out Obama's address, and they
So Lee
stopped
Harvey
an
Oswald's
assassination
out.
attempt that really never got started. That's what
I'm gonna guess that Obama has the actual Secret Service, not the fucking Mr. Magoo squad bumbling about, tripping and failing. And
I don't know. They're both
a
former
bunch of fucking
presidents.
Pennsylvanians are like, "Hey, there's a guy on the roof with a gun. He's been sighting out," and they're like, "Citizen, that's part of the fucking plan here. Don't you get it? He's supposed to die on TV. That's why they're televising this. That's why they never televise his fucking
dude.
rallies.
I think if JD Vance was leading the, well, maybe I'm.
He wasn't announced yet.
He wasn't. Oh, okay,
No.
you're right.
That's the
My
funny part
mistake.
of the story.
But do a hypothetically. Do you think JD Vance would be better at the top of the ticket? I think he was better in his Rogan interview. I think he was better in the debate. I think he's better in general. But Trump just doesn't appeal to me, and
Not
he
this
appeals
election.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
Next election, like Vance is going to benefit by siphoning off that Trump popularity if he does get elected for 4 years. But I don't think Vance does better without Trump.
I think he disappears if he doesn't win this. If he
I
doesn't win
can't
tonight.
think of a losing VP candidate that went on to do well later.
I think Harris might actually legalize marijuana federally. She said she would. That'd be sick. And I just don't think she can fuck things up too badly. Biden said that, but Biden's the silly old man. This lady's 50 or something. I like she might mean it, and she's a little black, just a little. Taylor, that means something. Okay. All right. I'm just
That
saying.
doesn't mean she'll legalize. It means she deals. Jesus God.
Oh,
Actually, she's also. I think she's very Indian. She's going to own a store.
We'll go from
Welcome to Kamala's marijuana dispensary.
Kamala.
We get you change your voice every 2 seconds to try and be authentic, but that is a little. That would be. I think that might. If you could show me a video of Kamala Harris getting in front of like a bunch of Indian women, and she was like, "I am so very excited to be our next president," like, and changed it the same way she does for black people, she might earn my vote.
I could get on board.
That would be hysterical.
No, I don't. I guess I don't care. I am worried about Trump pulling out of my Ukraine war, which I do think is like all of my
thing you dislike about him.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. Also, like, look, it's kind of true that he sort of tried to topple our government and all. It seemed like now what I don't think about January 6th is that he was the evil mastermind. What I think is he's just a goober, and he was like, "Oh, things seem to be falling into place. I think I'll just not say anything and see how this turns out." And it's like, whoa. One of the ways it turns out is like, maybe they kill some senators and you're the president still.
He told people to go peaceful. Do we have to relitigate this again?
We don't, but the
You've fallen for the
timeline.
Trump two-step, though.
right?
Anyway,
No, he
says both.
told people to go peaceful.
heard
You've fallen for the media narrative that everything he does is fucking.
I heard every word. I'm up
You
to
should listen
date.
again.
I'm well informed. And he did say peacefully and what did he say? Peacefully and patriotically. But he said a lot more than that. And he said a lot more than that leading up to it. And his people organized it. And he didn't bring in. He watched the whole thing unfold while he let the people.
And hold on, just
get
to
hurt.
clarify,
I don't think anything mattered.
these people that went and did this crazy insurrection that's so wild, they are the most armed per capita populace on the globe.
You act
on
like
the
because they
globe.
didn't bring guns, it didn't happen.
Yeah, you think you're trying to paint it as a sincere insurrection to topple the U.S. government, and the most armed populace on planet Earth showed up with flags instead of guns.
No, I'm
Yeah,
trying
the
to say
only
that they
person
took
that
over
was
the building
killed-
so that legislation was delayed, and they wanted it to not happen.
The only
It was
person,
definitely an
if that
in-between
many
thing.
people wanted to shut something down longer than that, they could have. The only person who was shot was a Trump supporter, an unarmed veteran.
A police officer was mutilated.
No, he was not.
Wait. Pause there. Did you know a police officer lost his eye?
There was barbarism.
Did you know a police officer lost his eye?
How did he
in that
lose
riot?
it?
How do you lose it?
I think they stabbed him with a flagpole, but that part I'm less sure about. He lost. You want me to look it up? This always happened. You guys changed the topic before I.
I don't
Google
want
it.
to change the topic. I want to talk about the eyeball.
what's his name?
We're eyeball central now. I'm
because
interested.
but I'm curious. In your view, if a police officer in a riot did lose his eyeball, does that make this a legitimate attempt to overthrow the United States government?
I'm looking it up.
Because that's insane. And that's the problem. Like, everyone who looks at that event sees it differently, because like the idea that it was a bunch of marauders with guns going in trying to overthrow the U.S. government is laughable. But the idea that the 100% of them were doing it peacefully, that a lot of right wingers will try and say, is not true. There were a lot of people breaking windows and like stealing lecterns and shit. Or I guess there was one guy stealing a lectern. This episode of PKA is brought to you by Lock and Load, our wonderful merch, and of course, the next 4 years brought to you by the 45th and 47th president of these United States, Donald J. Trump, who survived.
I don't like
10
talking
years.
about politics.
I don't like talking about
Well, buckle up.
Congratulations, Red Team. It
we're
was a
doing.
win, a fair win. I was going to say overwhelming, but a decisive win. That's for sure.
For sure.
Everybody kept wondering where George Bush was. Why isn't he endorsing? He showed up with those ballots just in time. Thank you, George W.
George
Yeah, that
W.
was-
Nah, he's too busy doing fucking fantasy
did.
baseball.
No, he's the
Not
only
imagine.
one. Somebody,
Dude,
had
I
to do
can't
it.
like. Kyle, did you see the clip I sent that you like nailed it?
the
Someone
exact
tweeted at
electoral
me.
map?
Someone tweeted at me like the clip from PKN, and you were like looking at exactly what it ended up being, and you were like, I can see this as a real possibility.
Oh, was
And-
that the last show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
Halloween
Kyle,
episode.
Kyle nailed it.
That moment has been bouncing in my head because Zach brought up this electoral map, and Trump won like every swing state. He had all the blue walls. He won North Carolina. He won Georgia. And I'm like,
And the
what
Sun
is
Belt.
this horse shit? I didn't believe that was possible. I guess I was in a bubble, right? I guess I was in my own little media ecosystem where I thought Kamala was doing better than she was. And, everyone was saying it was tied basically. And I just didn't see him winning every coin flip, but he did. So what he did worked.
It doesn't even look like a coin flip. Like, did you see the numbers he put up in New York and California? Like
Yeah, he's closer
proportions
to-
that haven't been won by a Republican in 40
It's-
years.
Yeah, he beat Kamala much more badly than he did Hillary, and
Mhm.
he flipped.
Yeah.
He turned New York closer to being red than she did Texas to being blue. Like it's like he won like 40% or 40.
What was
plus
the New
percent.
York percentage?
Like over 40, 44.
44% of New York, which is huge for.
We'll see. I know that's really good, and I don't mean to deny it, but he was trying. He was holding rally after rally in New York. He was pushing New York. Did Kamala even go there?
He won
don't
a
know.
tremendous amount of California as well. Like if you look, he won the popular vote.
He also
it was crazy.
campaigned in California a ton.
Mhm.
I think I almost said I think he wasted his time, but what he did works. I think Trump in both of his winning campaigns did a smart thing, which was like get on TV, get seen, get the press. It is much better to go on Joe Rogan and talk to 35 million people than it is to hold a rally and talk to 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
he did
sure.
both,
They
though, right?
fucked up
Like-
big time, not taking advantage of the Rogan thing. That's clearly the direction this is going to go in the future.
He said the other day, he's like, that was my last rally. And he said the number of rallies he's done. And it was either 750 or 950. It was something like that. It's like,
It was a ton.
Just crazy.
He's a
So-
performer. He loves doing rallies, but it's like,
I stayed
like
up late.
I thought it was going to be a Trump win. Like I said on Tuesday and last week, like if I had to bet, I'd put it on Trump. I did not predict this absolute stomping. Like I was disinterested in it by like 8:30 p.m. It was like this is over. Like this looks horrible for Kamala's camp. Fucking terrible.
The tears
So
by
it's
midnight.
Like I really, really like seeing the amount of people who clearly do not believe our media apparatus anymore. Like trust in our media apparatus is low in legacy mainstream media. Most people have kind of woken up that they're not here to inform us. Their job is to launder narratives on behalf of powerful individuals, entities, intelligence agencies, corporations, what have you. And like people aren't buying it anymore.
The unique thing about this race is usually, I guess it's been a while since the incumbent president lost, hasn't it? Well, Trump. Obviously. I guess it hasn't been that long.
Time.
But see, in this instance, it's the vice president. So like, what is she doing today? You know what I mean? Like what?
Same thing she did a year ago.
108 days ago. Like
Nothing at all.
Dude, can you imagine how disappointing it must be today when she goes and looks at her calendar? They're like, there's a duck that needs naming. He's apparently the hero duck. And they're giving the key to Wichita away today. You want that? They were going to give it to the kid that saved the duck. But if you give a speech, we can get you in.
Dude, they lost so thoroughly and so badly. Did you see that Tim Walz lost his own home county in Minnesota?
Did he?
His own.
I mean,
home,
they lost 51 to 48. Let's not go too bonkers.
51 what?
% of the vote. I just looked it up. I could give you the decimals.
I mean, they got I think he's leading by like 4 or 5 million popular vote, right?
They're still counting.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, dude.
By the way,
between 4 and 5.
Someone needs to go into Arizona and Nevada and be like, "Get your shit together."
But no, I think you two both owe the electoral process an apology because I said we'll know the night of. I don't know what you guys are talking about with this week of counting stuff you were talking about, days of counting.
That happened
There's
last
two
time.
states. There's 2 states we're still counting on. Everywhere else, it's like we knew by midnight. Like there were Democrats crying at midnight. That bald black chick on NBC or whatever, she was
On
like, I don't
MSNBC?
understand. She's like, I don't understand what happened.
Joy
she had
Reid.
the Queen Latifah.
She
Queen
is
Latifah
one of my
endorsed
most
her. Queen Latifah doesn't
despised
endorse
left-wing people. I hate her so much. She does a terrible job on her show. I've seen lots of her. And I think that she's so unlikable, she gets more people to dislike the entire party.
Oh, for sure.
She's the problem. Please get the bald fat chick off MSNBC and give us somebody Fox would hire.
Yeah, a hot girl, dude. When I see that
A smart hot girl.
bald idiot talking, like my thought as someone who's on the right wing is like, please never cancel her show. Please never fire her. Make her a bigger piece of that side. Put her in office. Something.
She's huge too. She's like physically enormous. So she's sitting next to a white guy who's doing his best not to like, not to do that. But he's just like, I think this is a message from the electorate that people on the left need to listen next time. That when they say the groceries are expensive, don't tell them the economy's doing the best, doing gangbusters, because they just bought bread that costs X amount. And she's like, everyone needs to listen. Everyone needs to listen to everyone. The right needs to listen to the left about what. And he's like, all right, keep it up.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what?
like, do you not realize
Keep talking.
It's like, how do we win white men back? Coming up at 7:30, why white men are Hitler and bad? And it's like, of course you're not going to win.
won?
Like you're trying to catch people with vinegar.
They have all 3 branches, and the congressional branch. They have both of them, right? So
We don't know for sure yet. It's almost certainly
wait.
gonna go.
okay.
Unless something happened like in the last 2 hours. I've been like bathing and getting ready or whatever, but it
2
seemed like
hours,
there
not
were it seemed like it takes a while. There's a couple of it seemed like there was like 15 races still up in the air maybe or something like that, 15 to 20. And
actually I'm not sure, but so here it is. There's 198 Dems, this is the House, and 210 Republicans. 218 is the majority. So it looks like like they're going to get 8 before the other one gets
20.
It's pretty important to get the
whatever it is.
218 too, because the 218 will
20,
give them the
19,
subpoena power.
21.
And
Sorry, I'm mathing. There it is.
No, I think you're right. It's not set in stone, but it would be
Yeah, Kyle's right. But
for them to not lose it at this point with 210 to 198.
I want to say 4 years ago, the Democrats kind of came from behind and took the House, but I'm not calling that.
I went so far as to
can't
go
have this Trump economy sucks. I'm already out $300.
Dude, I'm so glad we're finally going to be able to talk about the reality of the economy. I'm so glad it's going to be.
Well, first of all, this is the best. This economy is incredible, Taylor. Have you noticed how good things are out there?
He's already up $300.
Dude, it's so good out there.
I don't know about you, but like,
dude, it's historically high levels. I'm going to use the stock market as indicative and GDP and not consumer price index because it's convenient now. But no, he better really fucking get shit fixed.
To Taylor's point, like I honestly believe that if this economy existed under Trump, he'd be talking about the unemployment rate and the improvement in the stock market all the time. He would successfully sell this economy in a way that Biden didn't.
I'm so glad he won, dude. I'm so glad he won.
We have the WhatsApp, and you guys are kind of gloating, and I'm like, you would have gloated if Kamala won.
We kept our gloating to a minimum.
Yeah, I tried not to
so little gloating.
We shared a couple funny memes.
I shared one meme, and it's like one of the it's 60 seconds long though. It's a video of Trump like edited to be things like Rambo and Rocky, and it's like audio quotes from him. You know, I told him, "You touch an American, I'll fuck you up." And then it's like him walking in a suit, way too skinny from AI, and like his jets behind him and stuff. Yeah.
One meme.
You sent the whole video.
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Are you talking about when Kyle?
This isn't the last 4 hours. Like,
were you saying the one that when Kyle goes, he won Hispanic men, and I sent the Pepe with the sombrero?
Mm-hmm. And then there's Kamala looking like Lisa Simpson, and then there's like
those aren't memes
results
though.
and actual results.
That's like news. Well, I was talking about the Kamala thing because so see now I don't have to remember how to say her name ever again.
Never have to worry about it. She
matter.
and Tim Walz, they're going to fade away.
Yeah, just like the rest of them with their made-up names. Kamala was sort of famously wore that purple suit with the pearl earrings and the pearl necklace, just like the predicted 2024 president Lisa Simpson did in that episode. And so I saw like 2 different newscasters last night rocking the look. And one of them was, again, I don't know names, but she's the okay looking black woman with the drawn on eyebrows. Her eyebrows look like when Rafiki went on Simba's head and went like with that glue on his head.
You know the network?
It's got to be CNN because I watched through HBO. I canceled my my Hulu Live TV because it was like $90 a month, and I'm using just HBO's. HBO does CNN, so you can just watch CNN through there, and there's not commercials. They just skip the commercials for you. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I saw a couple of the ladies rocking that look last night. It was pretty satisfying, I got to say, to have them wear that dress or that suit and then show how many counties Trump has won in the country, and they're just innumerable. The best map all night, the best meme all night was Jake Tapper, I think is his name. He was like, "Okay, well, show me all the counties where Trump improved over last time." And the map it's every county in the country. And he's like, all right, well, show me all the counties where Kamala improved over Joe Biden. And he's like, there are none. What do you mean there are none? There are none in the country? And he was literally like that tone. He was like, what do you mean there are none? You're telling me there are none? He's like, yes, there. It might be.
Maybe we should have picked a candidate.
I think he even said it might be a glitch in the system.
So I have a question for you guys, Kyle in particular.
Yes, sir.
So, in my opinion, the big initial mistake was Biden deciding to run again. I think Biden should have not tried to run again. We should have done a real primary, and there would have been a sort of equal show as the two parties pick their candidate. But given that didn't happen, what could the Democrats have done better? Do you think they should have run Shapiro, Buttigieg? Kamala was kind of like the one who could take over that apparatus because she was part of it already.
So they were set for failure. And your scenario only works with, I guess, with Joe having enough forethought to know that he was going to decline the way he did. Because, I genuinely think there was a rather steep decline the last 18 months, you know.
I do.
And I think particularly, I think during the window where he might have made that decision, he probably was good. You know, he was probably like, I have one bad day a month. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, okay. So I forgot to feed the dog. I remembered to call the president of Uruguay, though, didn't I? You know, it was that sort of thing. But then it got bad and it was too fucking late. You almost need a time machine to save the Democrats, because one of the things that nobody talked about was all that PAC money that had already been raised for the Biden-Harris campaign could only be used for a Biden or Harris. So when you were going to turn the reins over to someone, be it a Shapiro or a Buttigieg or what have you, they couldn't hang on to the PAC money. They couldn't utilize that. I don't know what you do with that, but it needed to go to one of them. So it just made sense to pick Harris. I think the biggest mistake and the only other move they had, if we're thinking of this like a video game or like a strategy game, was to pick a better VP. Like Tim Walz had 0 negatives, but I don't know how many positives he had. There was the alternative was the guy from Pennsylvania.
Shapiro.
And
they were worried because he's Jewish and they were trying to court a lot of pro-Palestine people, or at least that's the rationale I heard for them not using him.
So there's another.
Maybe.
Apparently, Tim Walz was happy being VP. He's like, I'll be your VP. I'll support you. Shapiro's like, I want to be co-president. I want to lead the country with you. And she's like, nah, I'm not here to do that. I'm here to be, number one and number two, not 2 1s.
Yeah, your first lady can't be a co-president. She needs to get out there and do it.
Obviously, like, this wouldn't be put out there if it was the reality, but Shapiro's a smart enough guy that I imagine he knew this was going to be a very likely loss. And since he's invested in being president someday, he wouldn't want to tie himself as a VP to a ticket that loses.
I don't know. It's a lot of name recognition. I think Kamala's name's poisoned now. I think Waltz maybe along with her. That's her last run.
For sure.
To lose that badly. If it were close, she might say, look, you only gave me that's what I did with 108 days. Give me a full cycle, give me a hand-picked VP, I hand-picked this and that and the other. Give me a record that I can shit on, not one that I have to, I guess I wouldn't change anything that Joe did since he's looking over my shoulder. Is he looking with his mouth? Is his mouth agape or is it closed? I need to know if he's listening or not.
Well, Joe's over there like, the claw machines are rigged. You can't,
claw machines are rigged. He's on to something.
They got an iPhone in there, and they tell you can get it. But I reach in there, I spent half of our deficit on this machine.
I agree with Kyle that Kamala's name is poison now.
Yeah,
but I thought that about Trump 4 years ago. So my predictions are sometimes
greatest
wrong.
winner of all time. I think not. The fact that he still hawks all that bullshit takes away from the he should be so high above selling shoes and NFTs.
He's still selling
but
shoes.
He's just this door-to-door charlatan who
he hasn't delivered them yet. He just took the money.
Dude, do you remember? I remember when we found about the watches, and as soon as I saw the watch, I was like, okay, but that's like an artist depiction of a watch, if you will. That's not like
this is
someone holding a watch. It's a rendering. And I remember someone even like messaging me like, that's actually a Swiss action. You can get those fairly affordably, and they're incredibly well made. They can't find where the watches are made, and it went to somewhere in Nebraska or something like that. Like they did the same thing they did with the Jewish pager explosions. They like tracked the company names down, and it ended up to like.
So you think Mossad might have got a hold of these watches?
I'm a little afraid if you're wearing a Trump watch, it could get. Listen, if it's ticking, that's.
I don't think like any sort of post-mortem on Harris and Walz's campaign is even like that useful. Like that, I don't think there was anyone they have put in, given how terrible the economy has been. Like that was going to change it.
I think it's useful if you're looking at how to defeat.
It was too little, too late.
Because all they did was demonize Trump instead of talk about how she can look. If either things are so good, then I'm going to keep them that way, or things need an adjustment, and I'm the gal to do it. You got to pick a lane, and she didn't. She felt like she couldn't because she's got her like. I don't know what their relationship is like, Kamala and Biden, but I kind of feel like they're close and they like each other as colleagues at the very least. And she didn't want to throw him under the bus, and you can understand that, So it put her in a really weird position where all she had was Trump's bad,
Trump's a dictator, Trump's a fascist, Mussolini, Hitler, blah, blah, blah. And she couldn't be like, she couldn't have a new economic plan that wasn't Bidenomics. She couldn't shift gears and get away from Bidenomics with her own visions, because just having those visions sort of suggests that you're not okay with the status quo as it is, that you don't like the way things are going, that if your voice was the one being listened to, you'd have done option B instead of option A, as Biden has been doing. And the border stuff is just, everyone cares about the border now because they've seen that, like, it's millions and millions of people, and it's been such a big story. And there is crime. There is like migrant crime, and they're seeing the people come in from all around the world, and people don't like it. And they're saying, why can't we have a secure border?
Yeah, I'm stuck on.
That's compelling.
I was waiting
And
for my
Trump
turn.
hung it around her neck like a fucking necklace, and she wore it
Like an albatross. Yes.
like an albert, because he's like, she's the border czar. Didn't you know? I don't think she's the border czar. He just said that, and she never did. And they were like, why don't you ever defend yourself? He says you're the border czar. You're not, though. She's like, I don't like to talk about what he says. And I'm like, maybe you should on this one. I thought you were the border
it's super
czar.
tough. Now I'm all backed up with things I want to reply to. If you're defending yourself, you're losing. So I could see why she wanted to talk about her own stuff, but that's rough. Taylor said Democrat couldn't possibly win because the economy is so bad. He might be right. Right. I hate to call him wrong, but I saw it differently. I think that the Democrats have this like unlikable cunt wing to them that makes them lose popularity contests. Trans people, I got nothing but love for you. If you're trans, I bet your life is pretty hard, and I'm not here to pile on. But you're not winning any popularity contests right now. And if you're a boy competing against girls in sports, you're crushing your people. Stop that. Stop that. Like just be a likable person trying to live your own life, and you live your own best life. And on the left, like, stop wrapping that around your shoulders like a cape and making it your identity.
Yeah.
Just stay a little more mainstream. Yeah.
The left, you're 100% right that the left shoots themselves in the foot immensely by trying to court this like fanatical, insane wing that's like, yeah, it's a good thing to trans kids, actually.
That was what Destiny's
crazy.
I think Destiny had a good tweet, not about the trans stuff particularly, but more about like the commies and the tankies on the left. Like, I don't know if it was before the election results were through or like maybe in the middle, but it was something like, if we lose this, then the left needs to cut all the leftist commies and the nonsense like radicals loose. We can win without them, but not with them. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, I like that phrasing. Yeah, we can win without them, but we can't win with them. And I understand the blue temptation to just make your tent as big as possible and have everybody in it. But some people look in the door of that tent and be like, it's all freaks and geeks in there. No, thank you.
Smells in there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like there's no wonder like young men turned for Trump. Like this kind of left stuff is so established. So
what about our
ingrained.
Latinos?
It's in
beautiful
school.
Latino men.
Wonderful Latinos, and they identify that as like cringe. Because they're like, all this stuff being top down, pushed on me. Like if you're some 17-year-old white kid and like there's been a lesson every year about how like your ancestors are bad and white people have a sort of original sin in the form of racism. And actually this trans stuff is totally normal. Don't trust your instincts looking at it that it's not. And like that's going to push people away towards what is the new perceived counterculture, which is going to be the right wing.
Calling someone a white male is somehow akin to calling them an asshole. And I don't
on
like
the left, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like no one. People on the right don't call you a white male. That comes
they do
from
it
the
a
left.
compliment. Though. They might say something like, "Well, of course I pulled over to help you. You're a white man."
but
I'd
yeah,
splash you with mud if I'd have sent
I'm
you to drop
tired of
miscegenation.
white man being used to discredit anything I've done well. Like, that's not your accomplishment.
Yeah.
You're a white man. Anyone could do it with your head start. Or, like if you're a white man, you have to apologize for this, that, or the other thing. No, I don't. I didn't do those things. And, while there's some luck involved in everybody's success, all the way from me to Elon, I hate to put myself in the same sentence, but, it wasn't my whiteness that did it.
That 100%. And that sort of messaging, and like you vote Democrat, like even to you and to most people, that's incredibly alienating to like look at someone who's supposed to represent you and see them like malign your entire demographic. It's like, okay, well, why the hell would I vote for these people who very clearly have like animosity for me because of what I am? No, thank you.
I love that.
I love your
Latino
phrasing.
men
Yeah.
are coming over. I think that speaks volumes because it's working class brown people coming over to the Republican Party, giving Trump this huge popularity vote. It's also, I'm sure, because I saw how badly I saw it happen in Dearborn, Michigan, where the Muslim population is huge. It was what I said. They did not care for Genocide Joe, and they went and voted for Donald Trump.
Okay.
Dude, I'm looking forward to the fucking group of cronies, kooks, and billionaires Trump turns the keys to the castle over to. He's over there. I saw him like election night. It was interesting to see who his inner circle was. The people at Mar-a-Lago with him watching results. And it was Dana White and Elon Musk, one on either side of him. And it was like, this is great. I love this so much.
No insult to Dana White. Sure, he's a great guy, but it's like he's so... I don't know anything about him. I figured you guys liked him because he's a UFC guy, but
self-made billionaire.
He's
cool
self-made billionaire, sure. But
slaps
like
his wife around, keeps her in line.
He's a little out of
disciplinarian.
He's a little, overshadowed in that threesome there with Elon.
See, that's where
Trump.
you're wrong.
It's
That's
like,
where you're wrong. Out of the three of them, he's the best communicator. When it came time to get on stage, Trump was sleepy when it was time to give his speech. He was, we're gonna do good things for America. Got to do those good things. He's like, I'm gonna let somebody else talk. JD, you want to talk to him? And like JD Vance, of course, he had some coffee because he's an adult man, and like he had energy. He talked well, but then they threw it over to Dana White, and Dana White acted like it was a UFC fight. This man right here, and he's like pumping him up, and then he like gave a shout out. He's like, I want to give a shout out to the Nelk Boys and the Joe Rogan Experience and Theo Vaughn. Woo! It was like,
So I
know Dana White's only a billionaire, maybe 2 billion. I don't know. But he's the only guy who wasn't born with a silver spoon in that trio. And I respect that a lot.
Let's talk about Trump's personality and how the next months are going to unfold, because there's the transition of power, which can either be a very elegant, graceful thing or a really like shit show embarrassment kind of thing where someone shows their ass. And I'm wondering which is it's going to be. I remember when George W. Was voted, well, when his term was up, and they came in and they had torn all the W's off the keyboards. Like, I wonder if there's going to be shenanigans like that. Like, I can't remember who it was. I think whenever George W. took over for the Clintons, I think they made a comment about giving the place a good steam cleaning. Because it was filthy from the Clintons, like I'm hoping to see a little bit of that from Trump, honestly. Like I just can't see him being the bigger man ever. So and Biden can't defend himself anymore.
What are you talking about, Jack?
He like convinces Biden. He's like, no, Biden, you won. Stop! Don't tell him that.
Don't tell him that. That's rude.
He'll believe you.
I wanted him to go out there when he was doing the concession speech today, where he's like, I called Donald Trump and congratulated him. I wanted him to be like, this is all your guys' fault. You betrayed me. You stabbed me in the back and you replaced me by some Indian lady nobody even liked. And look at you now. Old Joe here isn't here to save you. That would be so funny.
I'm gonna hop on my bike and ride off into the sunset. And then he struggles to hop on a bike.
They said you gotta pick a black or brown woman to be your vice president. I said that's not even legal. I said we got laws against that, Jack.
Everybody wishes he hadn't put that hat on now.
Oh, dude, I like the theory that Biden was so pissed he was actively being shitty towards the Harris campaign.
I saw that meme. It was like, Mr. President, did you know when you called Trump supporters garbage that it would actively hurt Kamala's campaign? And he turns around and goes, just like grins and smiles. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a meme of that too, where it's like Donald and Joe on the phone, and Joe's like, the election's yours, Donald. We're going to make sure these backstabbers don't get what they want.
I can't believe he fucking won again.
Dude.
My favorite part about him winning is how upset it makes people that I find to be annoying and just awful people. Like when I go to CNN and I see how upset they are, that to me is my favorite part. I still worry about that man's ability to govern the fucking country, and I worry about who's going to put in all those positions of power. And it sounds good.
I liked it when I didn't know the Postmaster General's name.
Didn't need to know.
Just sort of working in the background.
It would get taken care of. Someone important would get that. A guy who loves the mail would for sure.
It wasn't some guy who's like, let's get rid of all the mail sorting machines before the election.
Stamps are giving people autism. Stop linking the stamps, people. Like that guy, the Postmaster General.
We'll see.
Are we going to get some early?
I'm excited.
Pardons? Or do you think we might get some early pardons? Because of course his freedom fighters, the January 6th
from Biden,
freedom fighters,
like before the end.
No.
I think
Trump.
he's saying like first day.
Oh, for Trump,
like first day Trump, because he promised the libertarians at their powwow that he went to, he was going to pardon this one guy who made a dark web website like forever ago, and they gave him life in prison.
Oh, Silk Road guy, yeah.
He promised he was going to, free that guy.
I don't know this person.
Silk Road was a
heard of it
dark web site where you could basically buy illegal things. I think it was mostly like a drug site where people could go there and buy drugs.
But I think someone maybe got
that's terrible. Like which drugs?
Well, it's not around anymore. They have him in life in prison, and so I hope I didn't even know that was on the table. I hope they pardoned that guy. I don't actually know anything about him, but if you just make a site where you sell drugs, right?
He didn't. He just made a site where you could secretly like do business. He didn't have anything to do with the illegal things, but others did illegal things. He sort of platformed illegal things.
Okay,
Not,
yeah, I'm fine with that guy getting pardoned, and I'm good with the J6 people getting pardoned, and I'm also chill with Hunter Biden getting pardoned.
I think a Hunter Biden pardon from Trump would be a nice little spit in the eye, like on your way out. Like take that. I don't know. It brings Hunter Biden back up into the news for one thing, get that news cycle chewing on him again. But it also makes Trump look like the bigger man, which he never gets to do. I would definitely pardon Hunter Biden if I were Trump, just to show that I am the bigger man. But then I would also launch some new investigations at the same time. Like Dude, he kept talking about prosecuting his enemies, and I really hope he doesn't. But man, you can't blame him if he does after all the shit they put him through.
I don't have any fear whatsoever that he's going to be some crazy fascist. I think that's fanciful, but I do have fear that like he's going to surround himself with neocons again, who are very pro-war and pro-intervention. And even if they can't get him to escalate these conflicts, they will bog him down long enough to keep funding it and just try and keep it grinding. And so I don't want those sort of establishment Republican hacks having nearly as much say in his administration as they did last time.
Think we're going to have the rainbow colors next year on the White House? I love when they do that.
No, I don't think we're doing that.
I love it.
We're shutting it down. We're not doing that gay shit anymore.
I wanted to know if Trump could pardon himself. I Googled it. The legality is unclear. So I still don't know.
I would think that isn't legal.
The scholars come down 50-50 on that one. And
it's like cheating in Magic the Gathering with like an infinite combo or something like this. It just doesn't.
I pardon myself and I kill you, and I pardon myself and I kill your brother, and I pardon myself and I kill your wife. You're playing those cards back to back. You can't stack pardon cards infinitely. Yeah. Yes, I can. I have infinite pardon cards.
Yeah. Honestly, like some messaging the Democrats really need to get away from at this point is calling everyone they dislike a Nazi.
Hitler!
Because that's clearly not resonating with people.
Those people haven't seen Schindler's List. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I mean that sincerely, not just as a silly joke or an aside. Like, comparing Trump to Hitler is so silly. Hitler was a bad guy. Like,
Hitler was a bad dude. Dude, this Hitler fella, the more I learn about him, the more I don't care for him.
Look, Hitler was a real rascal. You don't even know.
Like he was hilarious trying to be like, whoa, you guys know about this?
I'm stuck. When Trump gets at the rally and says, these immigrants, they're vermin. They're poisoning the blood of our country. You're like, holy smokes, that's a Hitler quote. How do you not like mention that comparison?
When he's saying like illegals are wrecking the country, I think
I said what he said. Yeah, like I didn't
Like he's
Well,
like,
you didn't phrase it exactly the way he did. So I don't. The vermin part didn't bother me. It was kind of weird that like whatever phraseology he used about poisoning the blood of the country or whatever is Nazi ideological phrasing. Didn't like hearing that little coincidence happen. His speechwriters messed up clearly.
Yeah, I'm sure that was on the
not sure why he said that exact quote of Hitler there.
But like that's going to be a net win for him because illegal immigration is wildly unpopular and securing the border is popular. And people who live in like small towns that are having 20,000 Haitians dropped on them, they hate that. People don't like that.
Yeah, I see. You can call him a fascist, or you can say that he has fascist leanings or fascist policies or fascist ideals or ideas. But I don't see anything that he's ever done as inherently, I want to say inherently racist. The Muslim ban is almost like definitively racist, but it depends on your definition because he didn't mean like brown people. He meant people that are radical Islamists who.
Here's the quote, by the way, the actual quote. Thank you, Zach. We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country.
The one I was talking about was stand by. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, Asia, all over the world. The blood of America is being poisoned. Then,
yeah, it's an interesting little ditty there, but. So
dude, as long as he handles the border and the illegal immigration problem.
But the point was, I don't think like he hasn't massacred any Jews yet, so I just don't think he's Hitler. He hasn't overthrown our government and established himself as a Führer yet, or even tried to. So I wouldn't. Well, I mean, little January 6th, he this or that, the other. It wasn't like he tried to become Führer on January 6th. He tried to illegally become president.
They tried to say for years that he was going to start World War III. Do you remember that?
We know he's not going to do that.
And now he gets guff for being too anti-intervention.
Well, that's not what he gets the guff for. If we're being honest, it's usually for the awful things.
I haven't heard him criticized for being too anti-intervention, unless you're watching.
Well, they don't want him to pull out of Russia.
It's like the establishment Republicans are like, he wants to abandon our allies in Ukraine. He doesn't want to give infinity dollars to Israel forever, even though they're our greatest ally. And it's like, yeah, good. That's not. I don't want him to.
Bless day, motherfucker.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.